if you want, feel free to say. Time for a motion. I give him to speak longer.
Yeah.
Well, so is Rodolfo, but
Yeah. Or I may have written it down.
yeah, no, I have several issues. That's why I'm gonna pull the minutes to the end. Because
Right.
I
Yeah,
have
I don't want
several,
to waste it.
yeah, because I have a lot to say on that. I tried to avoid it for too long, but no. Maybe things will get better now that Vanessa's here, but these minutes were cringeworthy at best.
Oh, I don't know about it. I'll just basically go with the pretty much of the essence of what was there. Yeah. And then I'm going first and second and then.
Yeah, I
Second.
had some changes too, and I tend to go because you get the good notes. Because I'm trying to write so many things and sometimes I don't. And you do, so I tend to go there.
And I can understand why they would get you and Judy confused.
Anybody who's here to talk about testify to their case, please come sign the signage. Sign next to your case, please.
Jamie needs. Move your microphone closer.
Move your microphone closer.
Okay. Thank you. Because I am guilty of in the head and doing all kinds of things. Okay. Sir, have you signed in? Have you signed in? Okay. Do we have printed agendas, folks? Okay. Yeah, well. We should be ready to go? Where's the channel?
Could we maybe call the roll and all and then up until, and read the preamble?
Yeah.
Maybe
Why
just
don't we get started? Okay. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board for Wednesday, December 6th. It is 6:02. Linda, may I ask you please to call the roll? Would you please call the roll?
Sir, ma'am. Sign over here.
We need you to sign in next to your case, please. Here?
Here.
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 Okay, did we get word from Rodolfo if he's going to be absent or? I'm sorry, he has. Okay. So we need to take a vote.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to excuse Rodolfo for this meeting.
I was, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Right, motion passes 4-0. Okay,
Who made the motion?
once again, good evening, everyone. This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Apologize for that.
This is a meeting of the Village of Biscayne Park Code Compliance Board. The board is authorized pursuant to Chapter 14 of the Village's Land Development Code to ensure compliance with the village's Code of Ordinances. The members of the board are citizens and residents of the Village of Biscayne Park. We volunteer our time and we're not paid for our services. The purpose of each hearing is to give any alleged violators the opportunity to contest the decision of the code compliance officer, which resulted in the issuance of a notice of violation, and to determine whether a violation of the village's code has occurred or is occurring. We are not authorized to dismiss violations based on hardships, ignorance, or the fact that others may be guilty of the same violation. These hearings are conducted in a quasi-judicial manner. Our responsibility is to act much like a judge in a court, and that is to hear cases presented by the village's code compliance officers and to hear contradictory arguments presented by the alleged violators. We are not authorized to change the code. The village commission is solely authorized to enact or revise codes. Conversely, neither the commission nor the village manager have the authority to overrule the findings of the board. Pursuant to Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, orders of the board can only be appealed to the Circuit Court of Miami-Dade County. We have the authority to assess and order payment of civil penalties, to issue orders having the force of law, to command whatever steps are necessary to bring a violation into compliance, and to assess administrative costs. In order to make a finding upholding the code compliance officer's decision, we must find that there is substantial competent evidence that the named violator was responsible for a violation of the relevant section of the code as charged. All documentary evidence presented by the parties must be submitted for placement in the hearing file. No documentary evidence will be considered unless the alleged violator or code compliance officer submits a copy for the hearing file. Each party shall have the right to call and examine witnesses, to introduce exhibits, to cross-examine opposing witnesses on any matter relevant to the issues, even though that matter was not covered in the direct examination, to impeach any witnesses regardless of which party first called them to testify, and to rebut the evidence against them. If you intend to address the board and haven't signed in, please sign in on our signage sheet next to your case. And anyone wishing to address the board, please stand and raise your right hand so that you may be sworn in. You're reminded this board is quasi-judicial and giving false testimony can be penalized. So anyone going to testify, please stand, raise your right hand. Vanessa, I believe you'll administer the oath.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you.
I think we
I
should
mean,
get
it's just,
started.
no,
I think we should get started. Do we need to wait for Luciano or can we get started?
Yes.
Okay, well, do we have any additions, deletions, or changes to the agenda?
None.
I would like to add just a really short discussion, and this has nothing to do with yesterday, to the discussion items, and that is holiday lights deadlines. And the next thing I'd like to do is move the minutes to item 8.6. There are still quite a few issues, and I don't think it's fair to these good folks who are coming to deal with their cases, kind of sit through our housekeeping. So I'd like to move them to the very end, if that's okay with everybody.
fine with me.
Fine with me.
Well, that was perfect. That was perfect timing. Code officer, we are ready for you to begin.
Our clerk is going to read the first case. First case is for Emmanuel Ortiz. He's on Zoom.
Agenda number,
7.23. So the address is 11501 Northeast 10th Avenue. Case number is EEN 18-0103 Emmanuel Ortiz. Action intent to lien, status non-compliant. Violation section 8.4, 11.6 fence and wall. Description is no permit pull for wooden fence and structure along the fence. Unapproved fence material is used.
at this point, there is still no permits that have been pulled, is that correct?
Correct.
And we first heard this case April of 2021, so we're now at a little over 2.5 years.
I'm sorry, I actually pulled the permit. I just never closed the permit.
Sure, sure, I
So
need
I
you-
replaced the wood that was not in good shape.
I need
I
you
just-
to, sir, I
I'm
need
sorry.
you to allow the board to please finish our discussion. You will very definitely have your time. Any board comments?
Uh,
Item
I have a
7,
question. What do you think? I have no questions. From what I understand, it has, fines have accrued and there has been no, payment.
there's been no payment toward any of the fines and no permits pulled since the order was sent in April of 2021. Do we have that correct?
There was a $850 fine unpaid, and the fines run from April 30th through May 13, 2021.
But to date, no permits have been pulled in regard to the fence.
No permits have been pulled.
No other questions from the board? Mr. Ortiz, would you please give your name and state your relationship to the property?
My name is Emmanuel Ortiz. I'm the owner of the property.
Go ahead and feel free to make your comments.
I did pull the permit. I actually replaced the wood that was rotten or in bad shape. I just never finished painting the fence and the permit was not closed, but I actually pulled permit to repair the fence and I submitted drawings with that permit, which were accepted at the time to replace the fence. And I actually submitted a letter from an engineer stating that the fence was in good shape, meaning structurally. So I was just replacing what I was told that it was, rotten, not in good.
Right, I see that there was a permit, issued on, am I correct? May the 13th, 2021, and expired August the 2nd of 2022.
That's correct.
And that this was, let's see. There be, complied, the permit, there was to be compliance, by April the 30th of 2021. And the time period for this, for the fines were from April till May the 13th.
Right.
So this is all prior to having a permit
Permit
pulled.
pulled. But has there been, if the permit has expired, has there been any further work done? Any inspection?
None. If a permit has expired, it means that the inspectors are not going out there to inspect
Right,
anything.
gotcha. Thank you.
Well, but Janie, this is just for unpaid,
Right, right, right,
unpaid fees. And
No,
it's
no, I
only for the
understand.
period that there was no permit.
right.
We ordered enforcement. There was a $200 fine and then a daily fine, which accrued, added up to a total of $850, which hasn't been hasn't been paid.
Right.
So really, it's whether we proceed with asking the village to file the notice, file a lien, or, if the resident could.
No, no, I was just pointing that we're still, in addition to that, we still have a compliance issue. But, right, I am all in filing the intent to lien. I mean, the fines accrued only for the appropriate time. They accrued for the time, client's date to the date that he did apply for the permit. And it's now, we're at 2.5 years.
I agree. That's, in fact, I would, for discussion, like to make a motion to direct, the fine that they're.
I'm sorry, is there a way that I can reopen the permit and then finish painting it? I mean, I know it was a long time ago. I'm not justifying anything.
So the accrued fine still has to be paid.
Well, not only that, all of this occurred prior to your pulling the original permit. Your pulling the permit was after there was a notice, there was an order of enforcement directing a fine of ordering a fine of $200 and then a daily fine. And that accrued from April the 30th until May the 13th. Once you pulled the permit, the fine stopped. We're only dealing with that period.
So although you pulled the permit, you pulled it after the compliance date. Therefore, there is a fine that still has to be paid. If you go and you pull an appropriate permit again, and you properly come into compliance with the fence, that is a different issue. The issue we're dealing with now is the unpaid fine that needs to be paid.
Right.
So when I paid for the permit fee, didn't I pay for that fine at the same time? Wasn't that a requirement?
You didn't pay the fine, sir. You may have paid a double permit fee. No, you wouldn't have paid a double permit fee. I'm sorry, I spoke incorrectly. You may have paid for the permit, but you did not pay for the fine. And that 850 is still outstanding. That needs to be paid.
So just
So-
so I can clarify, hold on, sir, just so I can clarify, as far as anything ongoing or where he is now, that's not even for us discussion. This is a fine in the past, right?
Stopped after he did
I get it.
that first permit.
So the only thing that I would see that's not before us today that, he's talking about what could I or should I do, is to ask for some type of, reduction, but that's not before us today.
Nope.
So,
And this has gone on for over 2 years.
okay.
Steal your motion?
Yeah.
I mean, I had no idea there was a fine before the permit. I thought that when I pulled the permit, I just had to comply with the permit. So,
Was this something that was sent to Mr. Ortiz, Doreen?
Say that again? What's the question?
He's saying that he didn't know that that he had a fine against him. Is this something that would have been mailed to him, sent to him, served on him?
Absolutely. This is a very old case, so he has received multiple notifications.
Okay.
I understand, but I'm saying that I thought the fine was because I did not close the permit, like I
No.
didn't finalize it. I had no idea that it was pending from before I pulled the permit. That's what I'm
Sir,
saying.
the fine is because you came into compliance as far as pulling the permit after the compliance date. So,
I would like to go ahead and make a motion and direct, fine, that, direct the village to, move forward with filing the lien, with $850, the administrative fee of $250 and a filing fee, as appropriate. And give the resident until December the 20th to, pay.
yeah, I'm going to ask you, because I see sometimes getting the orders of enforcement takes
It's not an order
longer
of
than
enforcement, is it?
Will be, he'll have to get another order of enforcement for this. So,
I'm sorry, I don't know the process.
Sir, excuse me a second, let me speak more clearly so you can hear me, I apologize. Because there will be another order of enforcement that details this, my concern is timing. Would you consider moving the date to December 27?
So, all right, I'll amend that to December the 27th. If not paid, move forward with, filing the lien.
I'll
Second.
Oh, Judy seconded. So I have a motion and a second to file the intent to lien, attach a $250 admin fee and the filing fee as appropriate. If these fines, the $850 is not paid by December 27. I have a second from Judy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Pay without the administration fee.
So we're moving on, I believe, to your second case.
Okay, so it's 11501 Northeast 10th Avenue, case number EEN 18-1286. Emmanuel Ortiz, action intent to lien, violation fine of $50 remain unpaid. Status is non-compliant, violation, section 8.4, property maintenance. Description is repair or replace dilapidated mailbox.
Question from the board. Did he replace the mailbox? Has that part of the situation been taken care of?
The mailbox has been replaced, but he hasn't paid the $50 fine.
And paid the fine, okay.
I was gonna say that's somewhat irrelevant. We're only dealing with
I know,
unpaid.
But I have to put all the pieces together. Okay. Questions?
I mean, so we're gonna move forward with an intent to lien. Is Mr. Ortiz here?
He's on.
Oh,
so this
is the same
property. Okay. Did you want to say anything, Mr. Ortiz?
Yes, this was discussed like, I don't know, 5 years ago. The mailbox has never been delaminated. There was a hurricane, I believe it was Irma, and a tree that it was next to the mailbox fell, and I straightened up the tree using the mailbox. The code enforcement thought I was straightening up or keeping the mailbox in place by strapping the mailbox to the tree. This was discussed many years ago. So I was using the mailbox because it's a concrete, has a concrete footer to pull back the tree and keep it in place. The mailbox have never been replaced. That's the same mailbox that I have when the fine or the violation or the hurricane occurred. So it's the same mailbox. The mailbox has never been laminated or in bad shape.
Sir, we do have an order of enforcement dated April 18th, 2019, in which you were found in violation and a $50 fine was assessed.
I understand, but the mailbox was the same and it was in good shape. I was
we're
told
not-
to remove the strap from the mailbox, and that's what I did.
Right. I have a question for, our code officers. I see there's a $50 account paid in full. Is that for this violation? It was paid on July 24th, 2023. And it says for case number EN 18-1286. 86.
This is an invoice that I'm looking at. I don't know if you look.
It
It
said, oh,
owes the 50.
I'm so sorry.
Trust
I
me,
just happened to see. All right,
Easy to do. It's
there we go.
very easy to do.
If I'm to understand procedurally, the findings of fact, particularly the ones that Mr. Ortiz is talking about now, have already been determined and found as the $50. So we're really just talking about whether we go for the lien or not. Okay.
And if nothing else, I'd like to make a motion
Yes, please.
that, that the fine has not been paid and direct the village to proceed with filing a lien for $50, the administrative fee of $250, and the applicable filing fee. If
I'll-
not paid and paid, but if not paid by December the 27th.
I'll second. I'm sorry, who's second, Judy?
You can second then, man.
Who's seconding?
Me.
Amy?
Okay, so we have a motion to file the intent to lien for the $50 fine at a $250 admin fee, filing fee as applicable unless this is paid by December 27. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Ortiz.
So 845 Northeast 106,
Agenda number, hon. You
oh,
can-
sorry, 7.1. 7.1.
One,
Yes.
okay?
The respondent is coming in on Zoom.
845 Northeast,
Property owner is on Zoom, everyone.
845 Northeast 116th Street, case number CEN 23 Musha Raka, TRS, Musha Raka. And Persai Raka, REVTR, Persai Raka, TRS. Action resign order to impose lien issue on October 18, 2023. The property owner had asked for a continuations before the hearing and is appealing that the violation, including the violation fine of $1,000. That is chapter 19.1.3 license required, violation not compliant. Description, 3/20/2023, renting a property on a short-term basis would often first obtaining a license permit from the Village of Biscayne Park, no license application or record for short-term or long-term rental. Fine of $1,000 remain unpaid as of the date of the notice.
Make a correction on that. They have a license as of today. We inspected the property and they passed. The only thing outstanding is the money, $1,000.
Okay, the first thing we have to do is rescind October's order of enforcement.
That's correct.
Move that we rescind October's order of enforcement to allow the property owner to have their time to speak.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Okay, so they have come into compliance, they have their license, but we are still dealing with the unpaid fine from the prior situation. Does show a listing active, at least back in August, so we have that. Any other questions from the board?
No, I see listings from, August,
And March through September
August
review,
of 23, August of 2022.
and there were, I see in my notes, there were reviews from March and September. If no one has any questions, I'd like to list it. Sir, if you would please identify yourself and your relationship to the property.
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Wonderful. So, yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Moshe Kraka. I'm the owner, and this is, just for context, this is my primary home. This is our home in Miami, and we simply rent it when we're away. We travel frequently. I'm actually talking to you today from Thailand. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak. It's actually very simple. The reason I wanted to chat with you about the fine is because we started renting before. As far as I know, there was a requirement to register. And what happened was that we were out of the country. We never got the initial request to register. We didn't know about it. We first learned about it when we actually saw something posted to our door. And that's when we started the procedure. We did it as quickly as we can. As you know, today, we're in full compliance and we're fully approved. So we simply didn't know. That's the reason I asked for the meeting and for the continuance.
Comments?
No, as in with many of our residents who have come or property owners, rather, who have come before us, similar situations, having stated they haven't known. You read in the preamble that the ignorance is no excuse. Mailers were mailed out, things were posted on the web.
Courtesy notices were given. Yep.
So that's my only comment.
Sir, I have to say, well, I totally appreciate that you have put through the effort and you are now in compliance. Again, we have had folks in the same situation as yours. They only advertise occasionally, or they're out of town, or all these situations. And we've not made exceptions. This is a very tight ordinance, and we really do need to follow the ordinance as it's written. So I'm afraid I wouldn't be comfortable absolving the fine. I think the fine needs to be paid.
Same with me.
Judy, Dale, any comments? Judy, Michael, I'm sorry, any comments? All right.
We've held everybody to the rule because we know that the mailings went out. We know it was on the website. We know there were multiple notifications to people.
One of the things I will suggest, this is just as an aside, since you do spend time out of the area, please make sure you're signed up for the village's email. Any piece of information you can get is going to be a help and help avoid a lot of situations, perhaps. And that's always a good thing. That's just an aside. Okay, I'll take a motion.
If nobody else wants to, I'll make a motion to find that to reaffirm a violation had occurred, assess reaffirm the fine of $1,000, administrative costs of $250, and give the property owner until December the 27th to pay. If not, direct the village to proceed with intent to lien.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Sir, thank you for your time, and I appreciate your efforts, sir. Thank you.
Seven point 28.
728.
Yeah, 7.28. 12020 Northeast Fifth Avenue. Case number CEN-23-260. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Marika, sorry. And Madeline. Action issue in order to impose a lien. Status chapter 19.1.3 license required. Violations non-compliant. Description is 8/4/2023. Renting a property on a short-term basis without first obtaining a license permit from the Village of Biscayne Park. No license application or record for short-term or long-term rental. A fine of $2,000 remain unpaid as of the date of the notice.
Comments?
Well, I know Ms. Mattingly personally and have for probably a couple decades, so I'm gonna recuse myself from consideration of this motion.
You don't necessarily have.
I know I don't, but I still feel more comfortable doing that.
Unfortunately, you also have to step outside. But again, there are definite parameters. In fact, if I can ask you a favor, I apologize, ma'am, for the sidebar. If you could make sure we all have a copy, because I think the attorney put out exactly the situation where we do have to recuse yourself. And normally a friendship or would not be a situation, but I understand Michael feels, it's the honorable thing to do, but if we could get it, I think that
Absolutely.
I apologize for that sidebar. Any other comments? Neither. Go ahead, Ms. Mattingly. If you would, your name and your relationship to the property, and please speak up. Looks like it's on. No?
Hello. Hi, my name is Marika Mattingly. I'm the owner of 12020 Northeast Fifth Avenue. Especially after, this is my second time I've been cited. The first time it was ignorance and I paid the fine. I absolutely accepted that fact. Doreen made it very clear. I knew she was on top of it 100%. And I accepted that it was my fault. But I'm not so savvy with Airbnb, and I actually didn't really know if I was doing it correctly, but the second that I got fined and I paid it, I took it off. I just haven't even pursued the licensing. I haven't done any rentals. I just haven't done anything. What happened was when I froze it, I guess, I don't even know, because the first time I found out that I was even on again is from the violation that I got. I called Airbnb. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? I was on tech support for so long. And they evidently sometimes just pop you back up on there. I'm now going to take everything off the list. Like everything is, I froze it again, having them walk me through it. But I was very sure that I would never have done that, knowing that she's watching it like a hawk.
Yes.
I mean, that I do know. So
That I
maybe
do.
ignorance is again here, but I mean, it's a lot of money. This is like, we're talking $3,000 now, and I haven't even, I think I'm a pretty good Biscayne Park resident.
The hawk that I am, I did review this case today and I did go back in the system to check. The advert is still up. Marika, you have to talk with,
I'm just taking it, I mean,
however, I did go deeper and I noticed that there was no activity. You haven't advertised. She did remove the listing way back in August.
What's the
exactly.
first fine paid?
The first fine was paid. She complied with everything as she stated. But with the second violation, I issued the violation. She took it down before I issued the violation, actually. It's still showing today, but I did go into the activity. I'm comfortable that she's not advertising, because what I was looking for was reposting if she had activity, someone staying in the property or anything. None of that has been happening. So it could be that there's a discrepancy.
Well, the first fine is paid. She's doing everything possible. For those of us who aren't the most technologically savvy, to get it off of there.
So I would be comfortable to ask for a dismissal of this case.
Okay. How does everybody feel?
Well, given Doreen's further explanation of delving into it more, I'm comfortable with dismissing it.
Yeah.
Given with the premise that if it comes before us again,
It won't.
And-
I promise you, I'm gonna get someone tech savvy to take off everything. It will not.
Judy?
I agree with that. Yeah. Now, and I know sometimes they do what they want to do
Well, you.
but so long as,
I mean, you hit
Right.
save and then, oh, you didn't. Okay.
but so long as Doreen says there's been no activity up there, I'll go with
My
that.
biggest concern really was, to me, it showed good intent that the first fine is paid, because originally it showed that neither was paid, but you've showed the good intent. I'm comfortable dismissing. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we dismiss.
Second, In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. I
Thank you, Ms.
appreciate it.
Mattingly.
Should we tell Michael to come back?
Motion passes 3-0.
Yeah, it was 3-0. Right.
8.5,
8.5?
yes. 11, 638 Northeast 7th Avenue. Case number CEN 23-435. Patricia Cohen, Patrice, I'm sorry.
It's French.
Elizabeth
A little better.
is,
Italian.
thank you. Ac-
Vanessa, you're French. Come on.
Bonjour, Vanessa.
Bonjour. Action order of enforcement, status non-compliant, violation, section 9.17. To determine to obtain property, description, Y4 door of Alfa Romero Q4 without a current license space and tag, store on the right side of the home on the swell of Northeast 117th Street.
The vehicle is still there, as you can see from the pictures, so non-compliance. The vehicle is still parked in the same place. Absolutely.
It actually pulled up the ordinance, and thank you for including it on the notice of violation. I think if that's doable in all of them, I think it's beneficial, obviously to us, but certainly to the property owner to know exactly what and why and how, and they can then go look up more if they so choose. It does say, with respect to a motor vehicle, evidence shall include the absence of current license. Questions? Comments?
Question, do we know if this vehicle is belongs to the property owner? Or a member of the family?
We do not have the access that the police have to read registrations. So we make the assumption if the vehicle is in front of their property that it's theirs. The violation goes to the property owner
The assumption being it belongs to someone who
who
inhabits the
lives
property.
on the property.
And if not, the property owner would.
Would let us know and then we would report it
Probably
to the
get a
police.
code.
and-
Right,
So-
because this violation, they were cited on October the 16th. And so, and it's still there as of December the 6th, so there's been ample time for the property owner to notify the village if it was or wasn't theirs. Has there been any communication or notice?
There has been no communication from the property owner in reference to this vehicle.
Judy and Michael? Sir, if you would, your name and your relationship to the property.
Good evening, board. My name is Patrick Cohen. I'm the owner of the
Speak up,
property.
sir.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Cohen. I'm the owner of the property and the vehicle. So to clarify, I'm aware of the ordinance. This car was my wife's car. The engine blew up. I got it towed to a Alpha dealership. They refused to hold the warranty to date and fix the car for whatever reason. We don't know. So I had the car towed to another garage where they analyzed the problem. And Alfa Romeo is guilty, so I had to hire an attorney. In the meantime, I was paying insurance on the car. And I bought my wife another car in the meantime because I was renting a car and it was costing a lot of money. So I ended up buying her a new car. And I was paying insurance on this car. I'm like, it doesn't drive the engine. So I stopped the insurance. When I stopped the insurance, I got a letter from the government saying, hey,
Can't have the tag.
you don't have a tag, you're gonna lose your license. So then I brought the tag in. And in the meantime, the lawyers are hashing it out. Now we're almost at the Alfa Romeo is finally gonna pay for the warranty, or they're gonna take the car back, or they're gonna fix the engine and I'm gonna sell the car. In the meantime, the car doesn't move. I tried with my neighbor across the street to pull it. We ripped 2 chains and 2 tags. The car won't move. So I have a cover that I could put so that you won't see that there's no tag, or like, I think in a couple of weeks or a month, this whole issue would be, I don't want the car there anymore than you guys do. It's a hassle, and it's like $25,000 or $30,000 just sleeping there. Meanwhile, I'm paying for lawyers, I'm paying for, I just don't want the car there anymore. I want to get rid of it. I have no place to put it. I did keep it at the garage as long as possible. And then they tell me, okay, well, you got to move the car. We're going to start charging you $50 a day.
The things you're saying, sir, make total sense to me. I'm kind of disappointed, though, that you didn't reach out to code in the 2 months.
Well, we were traveling a lot, so we have not been here. And it always seems that he's coming at 5 in the morning or when we're not there. Like, he could have just come and knock. I have a Ring doorbell. He could ring the doorbell and we could talk. I'm going to show up, but it seems like he's waiting for the moment that I'm not there to stick. And then he sends me like, how many times can you stick something on my door?
You could have reached out. That's really my biggest thing,
Okay.
because what you're saying makes sense. It's understandable. What you had to have done was communicate, email, something.
Mr. Cohen, I got.
He comes to my house. Why
I had
did
a
he just
question.
ring the bell?
The responsibility of the violator, get in touch with the code officer once you've received the back.
Mr. Cohen, I had a question because
Yeah.
you had indicated, that while you're in the process of trying to wind this thing down, through the legal process, that you could put a cover on it. I mean,
Mhm.
this thing happened in October. Why didn't you put a cover on it since you took? the
I didn't
lease?
have one.
Oh, now you have one?
I ordered one from Amazon.
When did you order it?
Like 3 days ago, 4 days ago.
When's it gonna be there?
Um, it should be here today. It said delivery was today, so.
Quite honestly, the car is not an eyesore. But an issue with the back of the tag. I would like to see us table this till January, allow the property owner to come back with an update and give him that time. Go ahead and settle things with Alfa Romeo, with the lawyers. Honestly, most car covers look shabby compared to this car. And I'm not comfortable telling you he's got to go put a car cover. And the car's in decent shape.
It's a 2021. It's just dirty. It hasn't been washed. It doesn't
How do
move.
the code officers feel? Please feel free to weigh in.
I mean, to me, the violation is because there was a car sitting there without a license tag. So if there
Right.
was a car covered on there, then nobody's gonna know if there's a license tag on there at all. So, whether, the car looks good or bad, I mean, if he's saying that he ordered this thing and it should be there today, then, I don't have a problem with tabling it. And, I think that if you've got cars that are on the main road where people are driving and there's no license tag, and they see it day after day.
Well, that's true. That's a good point.
If you put a tag, you've got this thing ordered. then
Yeah,
you-
and I have the car. I mean, I
have the
could,
cover,
I could
then,
prove to
okay.
you that I have the car belongs to me. It's my VIN. I'm the holder of the title on the car,
You're
so
right. I had,
Can you move the vehicle to the driveway?
it doesn't move. I tried. We broke like two chains in the snap with my neighbor
Yeah.
was a pickup across the street. We could not move the car.
It
Just
probably needs to be put on the back of a tow truck to move it.
Exactly. That's the only way it's gonna move, and it has to be one of those tow trucks that has a flatbed. It won't even go on a regular tow truck because it's a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
Where code is concerned, that car will be considered abandoned. And the way we would deal with an abandoned vehicle is to have it towed. Report it to PD and they will have it towed and send it to a junkyard.
Right, but that's if a car is considered abandoned, that's the process that it goes through, right? But now if it's sitting there in front of the guy's property with a cover on it, then it's fine, right?
If he can move it to his driveway and put a cover on it, that would be fine. It's on an approved surface, first of all. It's on the grass. It's not,
right, it's on the.
it needs to move onto your driveway with a cover.
The car does not move. The only way I could move it is in my driveway, we have 2 other cars. If I move this car in the driveway, there's no way of me moving the car back and forth. I have 2 young kids, my wife going in and out with the strollers. There's no way for,
I'm grateful to the code officer for reminding us it's on an unapproved surface. It
Mm.
can't stay there. That's another issue. And we're trying to work with you, but there are things that have to happen and it
well, I'm
can't
asking if you
stay.
guys could give, this is gonna be settled shortly, because I obviously don't want to keep paying for lawyers and I want to get rid of the car, so if you guys could give me a bit more time, the car won't be there at all. I don't want that car there anyways.
Well, I know you're saying you're paying for lawyers, but I'm sure in that, because
I got an email from them today. I could show it to you today.
right, but usually under Florida statute 627, 428, there's an attorney fee provision for an insurance breach of contract first party. So under the auto statute, so I don't anticipate that you're going to be getting any medical bills because or any legal bills because they're going to be billing the insurance company
I
as
have
part
to
of a
pay,
settlement.
I have to pay them already for just sending out a lawyer letter and
Well, you
Okay.
should get another lawyer because I practice in that area and nobody's charging for this because they're gonna get it under Florida statute 627.428. That's the attorney fee provision for this type of a dispute. So I don't think you're paying any money for it.
I paid $500 just to
You
send a
should try to
letter.
get it back or get a new lawyer. but
Yeah.
That's just some friendly
Thank you.
advice.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Circular driveway. It's, he's got a circular driveway. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we are really trying to work with you again, but sir, you've got to work with. It's on an unapproved surface. It can't stay there. You've got a circular driveway. You can certainly make some room, but it's gotta move.
I mean, I would consider tabling it, let him move it and table it and but he's got to move it. So, you know, it's a give and take. I mean,
I'd like to see it moved by December 27th. It's time for the order of enforcement. And then come back to us in January with an update on what the situation is. We would not go.
and also, you know, you've got, and if you got AAA or whatever, you can call them to get a flatbed to move it to that space, number one. Number two, if you have to incur the cost yourself, tell your lawyer.
Oh,
your-
that I saw, he has the whole list because
Yeah,
I paid
so-
5 towing so far, back and forth from 2 different
Right, well,
garages.
it sounds like, you know, I'm gonna be in support of adding one more to get it to your front drive, and that's something that you can add to the demand letter to the insurance company that's gonna wrap this thing up, because, you know, that's what you gotta do in order to get in compliance with your village because of Alfa Romeo not paying for your.
Yeah, the only problem
engine.
with that is the only truck that could move this car to the front drive is a flatbed, and my angle, because of my hedge, the flatbed can't even fit in there. It can't go in the circular part. It'd have to be on the main straight part, and that's where my wife parks her car. I'm not gonna take the room for, I'm gonna try to find another solution, but
So
it's
we're
not gonna go
telling
in my
you-
driveway.
we're telling you what's gotta happen.
Do you have a backyard?
I do have a backyard.
Might look at that.
I can't move the car.
I'm
That's
only
the thing.
telling
No,
you-
the car's going to
Well-
have to be towed, no
Oh,
matter
yes.
what,
Okay.
where you choose to put it. But the car is gonna have to
Okay.
move.
And I represent AAA, by the way, and
Yeah.
they've got a lot of.
I don't have AAA, but I should.
But
look
I
at-
know, but I'm just saying, I represent a tow truck
Yeah.
you know, company, or at least a service, you know, provider for that. And, you know, they can move anything.
It's not moving the car, it's where am I gonna put it? That's the problem. Where am I, any volunteers?
That's
You know
something,
what I
sir,
mean?
you're going to have
I
to
know.
determine.
I understand.
Ready, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, please.
I'd like to make a motion that a violation has occurred, give the resident, the property owner, the resident until December the 27th to relocate the vehicle and or coming to compliance. If not, on December the 18th, 28th, assess a fine at that point of $250 and a daily fine of $250. So up until December the 27th, nothing.
If the
Just
car
take
is not
care of
moved by the 27th, on the 28th, the 250 violation fine and a 250 daily fine.
$250 per day daily.
I would second that.
$250 a day?
Up until
not
December the
moved. I
27th.
Again, sir, you got this in October. You
It's
can
a
see
car.
These folks
It's
have
a
all
nice
sorts of
luxury car on a
ideas of
swell.
how
It's,
to-
it's on my swell. It's like a nice luxury car. I see cars
Uh,
parked on swells
We
everywhere and
have a
nobody
first
says
and a
anything.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Seven point three, Kyle. 1015 Northeast, 7.3.
3, thank you.
You're welcome. 1015 Northeast, 114th Street, case number CEN 23 239, B Part 2, LOC, C-O, R.A, Amaya, 1D, action, finding of fact, status, section 18.4, permit date, hours of construction work, violation, non-compliant, description, work crew operating equipment, compressor outside of permit days, hour for construction work.
We have both a police report and a notice of violation.
I have a
Notice of
recommendation before you even rule. Um, Because this is one of the priorities on our list as code, to ensure that construction companies are not starting work when they're not supposed to. They disturb the residents, of course, and we're working weekends or after hours when they're not supposed to. We want to make sure the penalty is enough to stop these people from doing this. We are recommending 250 violation fine and a 250 administrative fine on this particular case.
Yeah, that fine happens to be built into the ordinance. So yeah, we do have to stick with the 250, because that's one of the few that the ordinances have it built in.
Doreen, I had a question. It says that it was a work equipment, a compressor. What is that?
So if you, I'm sure you're aware of how much noise a compressor makes when they turn it on. It's a really, really loud noise.
Actually, my
people
husband
living
has
next
one.
door-
It's not pretty.
For people living next door to that construction
Yeah.
site, to have to hear a compressor at 7:30 or 7:45 in the morning is really not fair for them. Too early. Construction starts at 8 a.m. They are aware. We've communicated with them several times, but they still start construction early. And as a result, we've had to adjust our times of work. We have an officer coming in at 7 o'clock in the morning just to ensure we are watching these construction sites.
8 o'clock Monday through Friday, 9 on Saturday, am I correct? And
That's correct.
on Sunday.
And did this violation begin with a neighbor complaining?
We had the police department assist us when we were not here early. The police department would drive around to see proactively to look for people that construction workers that started work early.
And that's what happened here?
That's what happened in this.
And if a police officer does get called in, that's not necessarily public knowledge. Code officers, public knowledge, police is different.
Any other questions? If not, I'd like, or if you would identify yourself and your relationship to the property.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. My name is Carla Guerrera, and I'm representing the general contractor for this property. And what I was told is that this neighbor have called the police several times already, not even before construction starting. This specific day what they described to me is that the workers was not working. The workers was in front of the property, wait to start work. I was not there, so I'm just repassing what I was told. Also, there can be a deep research, and this owner, the same neighbor who called the police for this case, have called the police other times, and even in work allowed.
Or we're only dealing with this.
Yeah, sure, but as a matter of fact, that the person called the police even in construction allow time in different days. That's what they told me. So for this case, they were in front of the property and the compressor was not on.
Kyler, Kyler, you said, I think.
Kyle, it can be
Kyle?
Kyle.
Kyle?
Mhm.
The information that you just provided to us, somebody told you. Right.
Yes,
You weren't there that day?
no,
You didn't see a compressor or hear a compressor because you weren't there?
correct.
You're
Okay.
basically giving us secondhand information.
So, I mean, this is a quasi judicial process, so, you know, I mean, it's loose on the evidentiary rules, but still, you know, I think that under any examination, that's going to be considered hearsay, or it's an out-of-court statement, or out of, committee statement that is used for the truth of the matter asserted. And in this particular case, the ability for us to ask questions of the person that was there, we don't have that ability.
Sure.
And not that we don't believe you,
Yeah.
but we don't have the ability, you don't have the ability to really tell us what's going on other than when somebody represented to you. If you would have had that person here that was said, I was there, I was smoking a cigarette and waiting for 8 o'clock to hit, and at 7:48, the cops rolled up on us, and that I don't know what they were doing. I might listen to that and utilize that in making a decision, but I don't have that, unfortunately.
Well, if you read from the
police report,
it
it
reads, upon
says-
arrival, those units found 2 construction workers on the roof of the structure working with air tools. But if you're working with air tools, you are working with an air compressor.
And it said the construction workers had a light green truck and the compressor was activated and were actively producing loud noises.
All here in the police report.
Well, and I mean, I was just going by what,
Mhm.
Kyra said, in terms of that. And then the other thing that I learned from talking to Doreen at the beginning, kind of to address the issue that you had about some, neighbor that, might have it out for you or whatever and calling all these different times. My understanding from talking to Doreen was that this particular violation didn't occur as a result of a call from a neighbor, but actually the police doing the diligence that, that is been made a priority by our commission in terms of, the expanding construction and the village's commitment to keeping, peace during
Sure.
hours. So I just wanted to address that because, I mean, that it seems like there might be beef with a neighbor, but I don't think
Yeah.
that's in this particular.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm representing the general contractor. He had a family issue, so he couldn't come. That's why I came.
When you say representing, are you an attorney?
No, I work with him.
Okay,
yeah.
so he's just coming as his representative. Okay.
I think we're ready for a motion.
I'd like to, I guess I should be calling out the numbers in case number CN-23-239. Find a violation has occurred and assess a fine of $250.
I'd second that.
Oh, and I'm sorry, and the administrative fee of $250.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. I have
One
another
more case. 8.3.
967 Northeast 117th Street. Case number CEN-23-240, PRBP2 LOC, C-O R.A, Rodone Law PLLC.
What number?
Hang on.
8.3. Action finding of fact, sorry. Status section 18.4, permit day hour for construction work. Violation non-compliant. description, work crew, operating equipment, composer outside of permit days, hours for construction work.
Same construction company, two different properties, same violation.
This is Reyes Construction again?
That's correct.
Well, you guys are pretty busy around here. I see that. I see the signs because I walk around in the morning, but obviously, seems like the guys need to wait until 8 o'clock. Now, Kyra, were you here on this particular? Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. I would ask everybody please to look at the address on the notice of violation. And we have no corroborating police report behind it. You guys, it's another wrong app.
Yeah, by the way, I don't know who this was given to, but the owner didn't receive the.
You would,
So the police report says, court.
there's no police report. At least the other one had a police report. Oh, sorry. This has no police report and this has 117th court. That would roughly be in the middle of the Atlantic.
Yeah, there is a police report for that one as well.
I don't believe we can hear this, folks. That's a pertinent piece of information when you're saying, an inspection was conducted and the address is wrong.
What's the address for the
967 Northeast 117th Street.
963? Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just think it's a loophole ready to be walked through. Feel free to contradict me, but I'm not comfortable hearing it.
I agree with you.
I just think this is one of those things that will come back. When the only document you have says the inspection is conducted at such and such address, and that's a wrong
Well,
address.
It's the wrong address. There's no police report. So,
Right.
I mean,
Corroborate the correct address.
well, that's, right.
Other than the notice to appear, but that's,
Well, we do have the testimony of code officer.
Unfortunately, with this one, it was a police report, which I don't have in the file right now. I know we have one. It wasn't just included.
I mean, today's the day. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's in
And it's
writing.
up to the board to.
I'd make a motion to dismiss.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's just bring it back with the police report.
Yeah,
I
but
just want to point something for this property.
let me finish just a second.
And I don't know if you want to, snatch a defeat out of the jaws of victory. You just got to dismiss.
Sir, to,
No, I know.
please.
I want to just point out
Like,
something.
that's-
For this owner, we did receive the violation or the notice to appear for the other.
Thank you for coming tonight.
You're
No.
good. The case is dismissed.
No, I understand. I just want to point it out that I didn't receive the notice to appear for the 967. Maybe it's because the address is wrong. That's what I want, trying to say. Okay, so
Probably.
it is important. Thank-
Correct, correct. Oh, I'm sorry, motion passes 3-1.
So it's 3 to, I
You said, okay,
said no.
you said no, so 3-1. And
Mike made the motion and Janie seconded.
The next case.
I apologize for us.
7.6,
723,
7.6, 1106 Northeast 118th Street, EEN 21-0592, 1106 Northeast 118 LOC, C
I'm sorry, Vanessa, give me that agenda number again.
7.6,
Okay, got it. Thank you.
R.A. Urban Home LLC. Action, number one, correction to order of enforcement, date June 14, 2021. Property owner name is incorrect. 2, intent to lien, daily fine occurred from June 29, 2021 to September 21st, 2021. Date the roof permit was issued. Status not compliant. Violation permit required, double fee, chapter 16. Description, roof installed without permit.
Pardon me, which case is this?
20 EEN 21-0592.
So it appears they did in fact, at one point, pull the roofing permit, is that correct?
Permit was issued September 21st, 2022.
So there were 449 days of fines, daily fines of $50.
Is there still an active permit?
Permit is active till 2024. That's correct. Yes, there is an active permit, March 2024. So they did pay the violation fine of $500, but fines did run from the date that they were given for compliance in the order of enforcement, which is June 29, 2021. Fines ran to September 21st, 2022, when they got the permit.
Which is 22,450.
That's correct.
Questions, comments? Michael?
I don't know if it's germane to the discussion, but is the roof done?
No, sir,
Still a
the
work
roof is
in
under
progress, or is
construction.
it-
This property has been in construction for quite a few years. It's still under construction. I'm not sure what the issues have been. Maybe the attorney can elaborate on that. But for this particular case, there's an outstanding amount of $22,450 in daily fines.
And why did it take a year and 3 months to pull a permit? Why did it take a year and 3 months to pull a permit?
If you would,
If
ma'am,
you're
I'd
all
like
ready
to
for me, I'm
get
happy to
your
speak.
name
Of
and Your
course.
relationship to the property.
Yes, Madam Chair. My name is Rachel Streitbelt. I'm the attorney for Biscayne Urban Homes. And I'm here essentially to defend, based on very basic due process principles, my client. This process has been under construction for quite some time. I think it's a combination of my client being a New York-based developer who doesn't live here, who hired a general contractor that doesn't have a lot of experience in Biscayne Park, unfortunately. And the fact that we've submitted and resubmitted over and over again for permits, and the goalposts continue to move. And I've been here at Village Hall with your building official on multiple occasions. But the client, he's based in New York, and he is diligently trying to complete this project. As you can imagine, this is a brand new home, and every day that it's not sold, he's losing lots of money on this property. With regard to EEN 0592, and again, this is basic due process, and I really appreciate that you are all volunteering your time and serving the community on this board. However, the order of enforcement and the original notice were not mailed to the property owner. Moreover, the order of enforcement does not articulate a daily fine, nor was an affidavit of non-compliance issued to substantiate the daily fine. And so it would be a violation of due process to impose that
Actually, the
high
order of
amount.
enforcement does have a daily fine.
And when you continue reading, it says if the affidavit of non-compliance is filed.
Right, but you said it didn't have a daily fine. It does in fact have a daily fine. It's whether or not we can locate the affidavit of non-compliance.
I've requested all of the documents for this case multiple times, and there is no affidavit of non-compliance, frankly, for most of these cases. And I apologize to you. I mean, the taxpayers of Biscayne Park, this is obviously an administrative issue, and Doreen does a phenomenal job. She's cleaning up a lot of these cases from,
That's just we know.
yeah, no, I mean, really, she's done an incredible amount of work, but I can't just allow these fines to accrue and just accept it.
With all due respect to the attorney, I do have an affidavit of non-compliance that I have filed on this case, and I know it's after the fact. And this is how I was able to determine that this violation occurred from when and ended when. The order of enforcement was issued June 14 of 2021. I went into the system. It took me a lot of research to find out when compliance happened. So I determined that if the order of enforcement was issued on this date and compliance was supposed to be June 29, and compliance happened when it happened in September 21st, the following year, the violation days were those days, and all I have to do now is have that affidavit of non-compliance filed. It doesn't deter, it doesn't remove from the fact that these violations did occur, and we have evidence that when compliance happened, when they got the permit. So for this particular case, these fines did run from those days.
Respectfully, when I'm looking at the order enforcement right now, and it's addressed to someone named Barbara Vinitsky, and I don't know who that is.
I absolutely, this is why we opened this case by saying that there was a problem with the name, property owner's name. The name that's on the order of enforcement is wrong. I tried to find who this Barbara Vinitsky was.
Yeah, we have no idea who that is. She
couldn't
appears
find her.
twice.
She appears in 2 orders.
Yeah.
It must have been a clerical mistakes. We are custodian of records. We were not here when this happened, so it has been me going, like you say, doing a lot of digging and putting literally a puzzle together. This was a mistake, and I'm asking the board for a correction. We can't just throw this out. These violations did happen. I mean, I've been to the property myself and I've seen what is going on over there.
Respectfully, you can just throw this out. I have had a similar issue in the city of Miami where an order of enforcement was mailed to the wrong property owner and $250,000 in fines were thrown out because it is a basic due process. If my client doesn't have notice,
In the wrong address, different, be the wrong name. Can you run this by the attorney?
I will.
To make sure, you see where I'm going with this one. I'd like to table this one till January to get the attorney's opinion. Can we update that order of enforcement? Because the address is correct, which is the critical piece of information, yet obviously on a legal document, you want all the ducks in a row. So I'd like to table this until we see if we can legally change that. Because
I would like to hear the opinion of Michael's opinion on, because we are required, like the attorney says, when we issue these violations, we have to have the correct name, correct address per chapter 162. The reason I highlighted this is it did pop out to me that this was a mistake. Now, what I was hoping to do was to bring it back and correct it. Now, if it can't be corrected, and I would like to hear what Michael, this is an order of enforcement. Can it be corrected?
I mean, I'm not the village attorney, and, you know, I'm on this board and I'm looking at things just like everybody else here, although I happen to have gone to law school, but I did have a couple questions. First of all, your last name is it Streitfeld?
Yes.
The former Judge Streitfeld's daughter, or,
Yes.
yes?
Yes.
He was, oof. He's a great judge, one of the smartest guys up in Broward, but don't ever have a cell phone go off in his courtroom. Anyway, so the next question I had for you is that you had indicated that you had looked at the court records and requested, or the village records and requested them and didn't find an affidavit of noncompliance. Is that what you said?
I have not seen an affidavit of noncompliance for most cases. I don't think I've actually ever seen a Village of Biscayne Park affidavit of noncompliance. So this is something that Doreen, as I imagine, integrating into the code enforcement procedures for the village. But I also don't see a certified mail and envelope receipt. So again, on the order of enforcement, you have the wrong name and no proof of mailer to the address.
So now I got a question for Doreen, because Doreen, I thought you'd indicated, although it's not in this package, that there is an affidavit of noncompliance somewhere.
That I am filing. It's on my desk. It just needs to be notarized.
Okay, and after the fact one that you're gonna do now that it hasn't been provided, so what Ms. Streitfeld
She
is saying is
is
correct.
100% correct. No affidavits were provided to her. Re-inspections were done. Unfortunately, they were not documented because when we go back out and re-inspect these properties, we are supposed to file an affidavit of either compliance or non-compliance. And that's where we can come back and say, can you please lien the property because we have done our due diligence. When we don't, then it becomes a little difficult.
So, and then the next question I had was, is Barbara Vinitsky, everybody's saying that it was sent to the right address. Is the address this construction address, or is the address that's on the Sunbiz?
Barbara
So
doesn't exist.
we don't know what was sent because there's no, in many cases, like when the village sends out their notices to appear and notices of violation, they will include a copy of the certified mail receipt in the records. So what we have in this case file is just the single sheet of paper that says order of enforcement, and it has the property address and then the name Barbara Vinitsky. So
When I did send the notice to appear, we did send it certified to New York. I have that. I'm not sure if I included that in your.
no, you did, you included that and it's helpful. But in terms of the order of enforcement, there's no evidence that it was mailed to the correct property owner. And in fact, the name of the property owner on the order is incorrect.
And is that what you just said that was sent to New York, which is where I guess that business was?
The notice of.
Was that the Barbara Vinitsky?
No,
There's
the Barbara
been-
Vinitsky has nothing to do with this property. I have no idea why that name is on the order of enforcement.
I think she is. She actually lived across the street. So how that across me? We're all from.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I'm a public servant myself. I really respect your time and the diligence with which you review these cases. It's my job tonight to,
I'm
you know.
blunt enough to say there's a lot of cleanup for past staff members. Let's just leave it at that. I'm blunt enough to say it, and thank you for your patience. So, moving forward with this suggestion.
Would we like to have the attorney, our village attorney?
Review it.
I would think we can move forward or get his recommendations.
Exactly.
If so,
Absolutely.
That, just on the side note, this, construction company has been here well before 2021.
Oh, yeah.
They've done many homes prior to this, so they're well aware of the village's permitting process.
If you're talking about Sobe.
So.
So be it.
Yeah, and
been
I,
here
you know,
for
I can't
years.
speak to their experience on any other project. All I know is that I've
No,
been
there's one
representing this.
on a hunt.
Quite honestly, the one thing I do want to emphasize, your client's logistical issues are not Biscayne Park's issues. Now, if we made mistakes, that's a different story. We have to rectify them and make things right. But on his side or her side, the logistical issues, where they live, where they don't, that is not Biscayne Park's problem. They have to figure out how to make it work and how to follow the rules.
Madam Chair, you are absolutely correct, and I've been retained to represent this client for over a year now, and things have gotten a lot smoother.
Let me ask another question, Doreen, with regard to this document that was sent to New York. That's a certified letter,
We sent it certified and I have the,
return receipt?
yes, sir.
And what do we know, and was anything sent to another address or to a Barbara Beninsky?
Unfortunately, I went through all the documents. All I have is a posting at the property of the violation. I don't have anything that says it was mailed certified.
Bill, you wanna, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna end, I mean, I guess, there's a motion to table it, but I do have some reservations with regard to, this is a very large fine, and it seems like there's some procedural issues that the attorney needs to talk about.
On it, and then we'll bring it back in this one case at a time. I know you've got several. We'll bring this one back in January if the motion passes.
Yeah, like they-
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
So this one is 7.7. 1106 Northeast 118th Street, case number EEN 21-0593. 1106 Northeast 118 LLC, C-O-R.A Biscayne Urban Home LLC. Actions, order to dismiss, status non-compliant. Violation, construction fence, new ordinance. Description, broken construction safety gate.
We're asking for this case to be dismissed. They paid
This
the
one
fine.
seems pretty clean, pretty easily understood. My only question, do they have a proper construction fence up now?
Yes, they do have a proper construction fence up.
Okay. If no one has any questions, I would make a motion to dismiss.
I'll second.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes 4-0.
Seven point eight, 1106 Northeast 118th Street, case number EEN 21-0706. 1106 Northeast 118 LLC, C-0R.A Biscayne Urban Home LLC. Action, intent to lien, no after the fact permit. Daily fine continue to occur at $25 day from July 20 to 2021, as imposed by order of enforcement date July 12, 2021. Apply $100 paid on December 6, 2021 to the daily fines, outstanding. No violation fine was assessed. Status, non-compliant violation, dumpster, chapter 6.3. Description, observe a dumpster without permit.
Is the dumpster still on property?
No,
No? And they've paid the,
so they paid $100. I'm not sure why they paid $100 because the order of enforcement did not have a violation fine. However, this is another case that I looked at compliance when they complied by getting a permit for the dumpster. And we used that, actually, this one doesn't have a compliance date. We still don't have a permit in the system for the dumpster. So this fine continues to run.
But they paid $100 for something?
They paid $100 and I actually requesting that we remove that $100 from the total fine.
I was just wondering, shouldn't this, if a permit hasn't been paid, permit should be obtained first and then we hear it, and shouldn't it really become for fine reduction?
right? Exactly.
If they get the permit, that would be compliance and then they would be eligible for
Fine.
reduction. Because up to now, there's no.
We're not at the point to decide on the daily fines yet because they will permit.
Right.
The dumpster has been removed. There's no dumpster on the site now. For us to go pull a permit for a condition that doesn't exist.
And
It
after
was an
the fact.
an after the fact permit.
So after the fact permit, then they can come back and ask for fine
For
reduction.
fine reduction.
The process has to play out, ma'am. They need to pull that permit irrespective of the fact that now the dumpster is gone. But at the time of the violation, it wasn't. Then after the permit has been pulled, we can go to the next step of their appealing a fine reduction. But we can't go to that step. There's no permit that's been pulled.
So that $100 that they paid for whenever back then, did that get applied to anything?
It just got applied to the case. However, when I was looking through the case, I found the order enforcement didn't have a violation fine. So that $100 can either,
Paid down the daily.
absolutely.
Or it could be applied towards the after the fact permit?
No.
But
Not sure the violation fine can go to the permit because the permit is in the building department.
But-
totally different department.
So it was applied as a violation, towards violation? Because I thought it was unaccounted for.
It was applied as a violation fine. But when you look at the order of enforcement, there is no violation fine. I
Right.
went ahead and looked at the minutes. They didn't order for violation fine be assessed.
So how can we say it's got to be applied towards the violation and that we can't use it for, they can't apply it for an after the fact permit?
It's already been done. They didn't-
Right, well, I'm just saying, there's $100 sitting in their account that's not applied to anything.
Just because it's two very separate accounts, code violations are very separate from building violations.
Building and code are entirely separate departments,
After the-
completely.
They can come back and appeal the fine. But
And
we're
we
not
could-
going
And that $100 would be in that
Will be-
bucket.
Right, will be deducted from,
Okay.
May I weigh in on this? Thank you. There was a hearing back in 2021 and the order does not impose a daily fine. I would be happy to go back and watch the meeting, but clearly my client paid a $100 one-time fine admitting the violation. And what I suspect happened is that he agreed to cure the issue and remove the dumpster.
signed order here.
Right, but there's nothing entered.
Sure.
There's just no violation fine. It was ordered to comply by a certain date, and if not,
Then the daily started.
Okay. I'd respectfully would like the opportunity to go back and watch the video of this hearing. And so if you wouldn't mind tabling this so that we can understand what happened at the hearing and what the order really was. Because as you all know, that there tends to be back and forth and potentially the client agreed to do something. So I want to better understand what happened.
yeah, well, really, we don't even have to table it, brought back, because really it's ongoing. Nothing's been resolved.
Good point. Well, we will take no action tonight.
Right.
Right, and then Ms. Dreyfeld can go review that and then tell us and elucidate us next time.
Thank you.
And somebody on staff also listen to the audio or video from that.
Absolutely, we will.
I hate to add that to your days, but if somebody could. that would
Want a
be great.
motion?
Yep.
Take no action. I'll make a motion to take no action. Have it heard.
Second,
Bring it back.
I'll second.
Okay, Motion by Dale, second by Michael, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. So you understand, ma'am, you'll have the time to go listen or watch. Our staff member will do the same. We'll come back and revisit in January with this one.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
But also understand that there can't be any fine reduction if you're going to ask for one until there's a permit that's been issued after the fact.
That was Dale and Michael, correct?
Understood. Thank you, Ms. Hammelberg.
7.9, 1106 Northeast 118th Street. Case number EEN 21-0707. 1106 Northeast 118 LLC. C-O R.A Biscayne Urban Home. Action, order to dismiss. The violation fine was paid on December 6, 2021. No affidavit of non-compliance failed to substantiate the daily fine. Status, non-compliant, violation, dumpster, chapter 6.3, description, overflowing dumpster.
They paid the $100 for the overflowing dumpster. I'm asking for a dismissal on this one.
I would make a motion to dismiss.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
That was Janie and Mike.
7.10, 1106 Northeast 118th Street. Case number EEN 21-0871. 1106 Northeast 118 LLC C-O R.A Biscayne Urban Home LLC. Action, order to dismiss, violation fine of $1,000 was paid on December 6, 2021. Affidavit of non-compliance not failed to substantiate the daily fine. Status, non-compliant. Violation, life safety. Description, swimming pool without a fence.
So an affidavit of non-compliance was not filed. That's correct?
Yes,
And the violation was paid.
correct.
Is the swimming pool secure?
As of today, I have, the fence is up. It's there. The chain link fence is up. I have to mention that we did issue a violation last week to this property because the green mesh is all torn. We can see everything. So
So that's a
That's-
new violation.
that's a new violation, but that can be easily taken care of. When's the compliance?
Yeah, but the fence is up.
Yeah, there's a chain link fence.
Okay.
Green mesh construction.
Chipped at one point.
I'd like to make a motion. Find that the violation, I'd like to make a motion to dismiss the violation fine has been paid and there was no affidavit of non-compliance to substantiate the daily fine.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
7.11, 1106 Northeast 118th Street. Case number EEN 21-0872. 1106 Northeast 118 LLC R.A Biscayne Urban LLC. Action, intent to lien, $1,000 violation fine remain unpaid. Affidavit of non-compliance will fail to substantiate the daily fine. Status, non-compliant, violation, life safety. Description, expected tank toxic odor. Expected, sorry.
So that as of today, nothing has been paid on the violation. We know we can't deal with the daily.
The $1,000 hasn't been paid.
Has the violation been corrected?
So because it's a construction site now, we can't just walk in there.
No, of course not.
We don't smell anything. Luciano and I had been to the property next door when they reported the pool again is green. We didn't smell any septic odor, so some compliance there. They just need to pay the $1,000.
But the 1,000 has not been paid. The 1,000 needs to be paid.
My client will pay the $1,000 on this one.
So my motion would be that the $1,000 is to be paid by December 27th. Additionally, a $250 administrative fine,
If not,
$250 daily.
no, it's already there. If not, we need to direct the village to.
Lien, I'm sorry, thank you. Thank you for correcting.
You said a $250 administrative fine, it's administrative fee.
Cost.
Cost, yeah.
So the $1,000 needs to be paid by December 27, including the plus a
Plus.
$50 administrative fee. If not paid by then, file the intent to lien. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
7.12, 1106 Northeast 118th Street, case number EEN 21-0873, 1106 Northeast 118 LLC, C-O-R.A Biscayne Urban Home LLC. Action intent to lien $1,000 violation fine remain unpaid. Affidavit of noncompliance will fill to substantiate the daily fine. Status non-compliant, violation life safety, description algae filled pool.
$1,000 haven't been paid yet.
Been able to use.
We went next door and unfortunately this pool is green again. There's water in there, there's mosquitoes breeding, and it's green. So a quick cleanup would really be great.
But with this, Janie, right here. it's just-
This is an old case.
This is
We have to
just-
settle this one. It's whether or not you recite. That's
We have recycled, we have issued a violation.
Then I'm,
So you issued another violation for the
Yes.
pool?
Yes, last week.
because it's green again. I mean, it's a difficult thing. Anybody who has a pool in South Florida will tell you it's not easy, but they've got to stay on top of it.
And compliance was by December 4th,
Compliance was by December 4th?
right? There's no fine right now still, but I had said to him, we're meeting her at the hearing. We'll let her know of this violation.
Okay,
We can
we
give
haven't,
an
I mean,
extension.
I got the 9 notices of hearing for tonight.
We can give you an extension on
But
this. Let's. deal
That,
with
that
it.
would be great. Yeah, because I haven't seen any of these new violations and, you know,
We sent it to New York. So we'll email you these violations, but let's deal with these old ones.
thank you. Okay.
Well, my motion would be the same, the $1,000 to be paid by December 27th, plus a $250 administrative fee. If not paid by December 27th, file the intent to lien letter.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 4-0.
7.13, 1106 Northeast 118th Street, case number EEN 22-0503, 1106 Northeast 118 LLC, C-O-R.A Biscayne Urban Home LLC. Action intent to lien $1,000 violation fine remain unpaid. Affidavit of non-compliance will be filled to substantiate the daily fine. Status non-compliant, violation, construction fence, description, construction site with no construction fence.
This is the second construction fence case and the other one was dismissed. We did pull a permit. There is a construction fence. I would respectfully request that this case also be dismissed.
Yeah, and there's a construction fence around there now, right? It's just ripped up. Is it ripped up now, Doreen?
There
Yeah.
is a fence now. It's secure.
The screening material to
The
uh,
green
stop the
mesh.
public from viewing the construction that is torn up right now.
Yeah, does your code require that green material in front of the construction fence?
Yes.
Because we have this issue in my island community all the time. I mean, if it rains or if it's windy, those green mesh coverings, they fall off really easily and it becomes a burden for property owners to continuously have to continue, but you understand what I'm saying? The maintenance is significant. So obviously you don't craft the code at this time. However, I mean, we're modifying our ordinance too. We initially wanted to have like the fake leafy green on the construct, but that falls off in the wind and it ends up in the storm drains and it's just stupid and bad. So,
It's just that they look bad. It's a nuisance when they're just all torn. If you saw, I don't have a picture now. If I showed you the picture of how it looks now, it looks really terrible.
yeah, no, I understand. I understand fences are difficult to maintain and we've had really powerful winds, so.
This is a different situation than the case that was dismissed. In the case that we dismissed, the violation fine was paid. This one, the violation fine is still outstanding.
But it's the same,
No, it's two different cases.
I don't understand why it's two different cases. So the
Because
case
it-
that you dismissed was, I mean, also 2021 and the case before us now is
2022,
2022.
right? So
But the construction fence was installed. The construction fence was installed in 2021. If there was
but
a,
there was a time, if you remember, when it was installed and then the gate fell and then it was in a bad state. And I believe this is when they issued the second violation.
okay, I mean, I really think that, the second violation, it should just be, a notice of warning to a property owner. It shouldn't be $1,000 every time we have a storm and the construction fence falls apart. I mean, he paid for the violation, he put the
We
fence
have
back,
The same thing.
Repeat violation.
Repeat violations.
but again, if it's a construction fence and we had a storm, the construction fence falls down and he's out there as quickly as possible to pick it back up. It shouldn't cost $1,000 every time there's a storm. I mean, my client is addressing the construction fence as quickly as he knows about it.
It was August of last year. I don't think we had any storms come through at that point.
And,
I would not be in favor of this.
No.
I think this one.
says
needs
they
to
had
be-
removed the fence. That's what the
Right.
violation says, they had removed the fence. but,
Oh,
yeah,
this
I
may
didn't
have
issue
been when the planning and zoning board told us that we couldn't have the type of fence that we wanted. There was a time where the planning and zoning board got involved on the aesthetics of the fence and said we had to take it down, and then we had to address that issue.
This was when the whole front of the property was open. I believe there may have been
Yep.
a partial one on one side,
Correct.
and there was building debris in front of
Yep.
in front of the property, in front of the house. And that was one of the reasons that we went ahead and did that. Prior to that, there had been a fence all across the front.
Right.
Then it was removed in part to the side. The perimeter had it, but it wasn't fully enclosed in. And there was construction debris in the front. And I believe there was equipment. I'd have to look back at the pictures. But
I mean, I'd view it the way that Ms. Streitfeld has framed it. I mean, we dismissed the other one, the fence is there, it's still there, it's been confirmed.
But over the years, the fence is up, the fence is down, the fence is up, the fence is down. I mean,
First one we dismissed because at least the violation fine was paid. This
Right.
one,
the violation fine is not paid.
and there's been too much down as opposed to
Right.
up.
Right.
So my motion would again be the
And
same.
To me, the property owner has the responsibility, as does the construction company, to maintain the property. Even if they're not doing further construction on it, they still need to be checking in on their property.
it's an attractive nuisance. Kids or anybody up there, as well as there's a pool in the back.
Exactly.
That's one of the reasons. that-
Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think the fence being up once doesn't account for it a year later being down.
Well, my motion would be that the fine is to be paid the $1,000 fine to be paid by December 27th, plus the $250 admin fee. If it's not paid by that point, the intent to lien letter should go out.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Michael? No.
No.
Motion passes
No.
3-1.
Seven point 1106 Northeast 118th Street. Case number EEN 22-0462, 1106 Northeast 118 LLC. C-O-R.A Biscayne Urban Home LLC. Action order to dismiss permit was renewed August 5th, 2021. Status in compliance, violation, permit required double fee, chapter 16. Description, construction fence with expired permit.
This, I guess, was during the fence is up, the fence is down, and they were supposed to put it up at some point. So they were putting up the fence and the inspector did not check if there was a permit. He issued the violation. However, when I researched this, I found that they did have a valid permit, which was issued on 8/5. This violation should not have been issued.
Motion to dismiss?
Second.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
4-0.
It was Janie and Mike.
Janie, 4-0.
Doesn't matter.
Janie, Mike.
All of us.
I'm sorry,
Janie and
Janie and
Mike.
Judy or Janie and Michael?
But it is Mike.
Okay.
No, Janie and Michael, 4-0.
I believe we have gone through all of them.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your patience and your being here.
I appreciate all of you and the service that you provide. Thank you.
Well, your client should appreciate your counsel.
Is there any
He pays my
reason,
bills.
Doreen, why, I don't know how these things always work legally and logistically. Can the attorney be copied on situations? Is that proper?
We absolutely.
Would that be better for you, ma'am?
I didn't know she was there for this particular property. Oh, I knew you were the attorney from the other one. Right, but I will copy you on everything when we find stuff.
If you see Biscayne Urban Homes, just Rachel@Caldera.law, just copy me on that. Yes, you can even have my cell phone number, Doreen.
We don't like imposing fines. We really would prefer people to be in compliance and not to have life safety issues with fences down and pools not taken care of. That's our goal, is to keep it from being an eyesore and keep it from being a hazard. I mean, we have so many young children.
Really our biggest concern. This has become a
You
very
don't need
charming
to tell me. I'm a commissioner in North Bay Village and we
Oh,
don't.
I knew you've been here
Right.
before.
We don't require single family homes for work that's less than 50% substantial improvement. Our code doesn't require a construction fence. I'm trying to modify our code because we have a property that's had a 3-foot deep, 3 feet wide electrical, plumbing, whatever it is, ditch, open and exposed in a very quiet residential neighborhood. Our code doesn't require that. So my code enforcement director, Orlando, makes regular visits to the property to let the property owners know. And that's the difference. No offense to you, Mr. Nibbs. I think you're doing a wonderful job. But I think for some of these things, you know, simply calling a property owner and giving a courtesy notice, you know, might be a better way to go, but it's totally up to you. And I fully take responsibility on behalf of my client for
Honestly, on life safety issues, it normally takes something a little more obvious. Because in reality, you don't have time with life safety issues. And we've had an awful lot of them on that property.
I
Hopefully
understand.
That'll change now.
I understand. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Still have a good many cases here. Broward. Oh.
Seven point 10811 Northeast 10 Avenue.
7.1.
17. Thank you.
Okay, case number EEN 18-0070, George Mahama. Action, order to dismiss case, status null and void, no notice of violation issue. Notice to appear was sent to previous property owner.
Is a correction on that. We are not asking to dismiss this case. The property owner fortunately came in and clarified that he was the owner all along,
Excuse me,
that there was a
I'm
problem.
not finished.
You're not done?
No, I'm not done. Hold on. Violation section 5.34, 6.510, building permit required. Description, no wooden fence installed without a permit. You could continue.
I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. We are changing, what we are asking for in this case. It's not a dismissal. The owner clarified that he was the owner of the property all along. There was, problem that was clarified with the bank. They changed the name and he had to get lawyers involved, and that's clarified. So all along, he's been the owner of that property. So we are back with this, violation. There was no permit for this fence. We explained the violation to him again for the 100th time, right? I believe he now understands where we stand. The order of enforcement, the original order of enforcement stands. And there has been fines running to the tune of, how much did we say that was? The daily fine. We've had fines running for quite a few years.
We don't have that here.
Yeah, we don't.
Because I was gonna ask for a dismissal, but I had to go back and recalculate. It's, as of today, $45,425.
So really,
He has applied for relief, and that's what I was getting to.
oh, okay.
We received an application for relief from him, and I'm just gonna hand you that. I did ask him to propose an amount, but he wanted to come and make that proposal in front of the board.
I have a question though. Oh, that's my question.
Okay.
You're looking to see what,
We can't hear a fine reduction without a permit.
right. Okay. So this is now for a fine reduction.
When did he get the?
No, a few months ago.
Yeah.
Which was in May 17th, 2023. And it started in June 5th, 2018.
Please.
Yeah, we'd like
It's
to.
been a while.
So is this gonna be like an oral motion for a reduction and an amount? Because usually we have that provided,
It's right here.
You've
oh, the
given,
reduction amount.
you've given us no amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, orally, okay.
Yeah, I couldn't put 0, so put 1.
No,
Okay, so let me explain what happened in 2018. Okay, it was a hurricane, the fence came down, and Ms. Pinheiro came by and put the well, I came to the city and I asked, it's a hurricane, I need to repair my fence,
I need you to speak up, please.
do I need to put a permit, to apply for a permit? They said, just go ahead and fix the fence and you'll be all right. So Ms. Pinheiro came by, she put the notice that you saw. She kept on coming by. We got into a huge argument with her, like verbally, like loud. Police came. A few days later, she was gone. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know if she got fired or she quit. They said, no problem, keep going. Several years went by, and like a phoenix out of the ashes, Doreen came by and then, discovered a $40,000 fine that I didn't even know existed. She told me to apply for the permit 5 years later, and here I am. I mean, I wasn't supposed to get a permit because it was, I guess, during hurricane or whatnot. So it wasn't like it was. ignorant.
I lost
didn't
my
know.
house to Hurricane Wilma. I
No,
needed
I
the
had-
permit for the demolition. I needed the permit for every single thing that needed to be done.
But we're talking about a fence, not a full demolition. I lost my house in Andrew, so I understand that.
So
Uh,
permits are needed.
I have a question of the village. So the permit was applied for. Has it gone before P and Z?
Yes,
It has, yes,
Has the
Issued.
permit been finalized, closed out?
yes, it has been.
Oh, it was
Inspected.
It was inspected,
Yes.
the fence met, all the criteria,
Yes, after, because it was an after the fact, they
that.
had to go through all that. Yes, sir.
right?
He is in compliance.
He's in compliance with the fence and the permit. He just needs to pay $45,000.
That I have is it took 5 years.
yes. And I came
Huge
going
problem.
back and forth with
He's
with the
been here 3
old
times
cities, and
to the
I've
board.
been trying to see what I can do, but
Well, I think if
I mean,
we,
before Doreen came by, it's just been, I mean.
if we rewind it back to whenever it was that this
2018.
hurricane or storm took down your fence.
Yeah.
You said, one thing that struck me, you said that you came by to the
Yes.
city and
Yes.
you asked,
Yes.
and they said you didn't need to because
I
it was a
didn't need to,
hurricane.
Correct.
And then that's what sparked, these later confrontations with the former.
With
code-
Ms. Pinheiro, yes,
Yeah, because you said, I was told I didn't
Correct.
have to, and,
yes.
and that was.
We got into a
that's what you
big
were-
argument. I don't know if there's a police report to that, but that.
Was you operating under
Doreen-
that assumption until Ms. Doreen came by?
Yeah, and then a few years later, Ms. Doreen came by. She's doing a great job. I told her already, and $45,000 fine.
I have a question. So it's in compliance. Everything looks fine, didn't have to redo anything. The fence currently looks good. And so really, he met the criteria but I mean, the fence was good when he put it up. So now we're looking at the fact that this time has lapsed and the administrative costs the village has been working on this and doing it. So I'm not saying what to offer or anything, but I'm at least looking at an administrative cost that, for the village. So,
Right. It took our code officers multiple times to go out.
anyway, so, and you would like to offer,
What do you got for us?
$1. The price is right.
Okay. Again, it's been 5 years. You would have known from the order of enforcement that would have gone out in March of 2018,
Yes,
what you had to do.
yes.
Now,
Well,
the fact that there wasn't consistent someone knocking on your door and saying you had to do something does not negate.
no,
the
no,
fact you
I
were
did not
following
neglect,
order
I
in
did
March.
not neglect this. It was you guys that made the mistake at the beginning. But, telling me that I don't need a permit, and then Ms. Pinheiro came by, she caused a whole scene, and I came back to the city, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Realistically speaking, the village put a lot of time and effort into this, sir.
Well, I haven't
I'm gonna
gotten that.
ask you for a more realistic offer.
And what is the administrative fee that we have as a
What is the
minimum?
administrative fee?
$250, right?
150.
That's the minimum, but, right.
Minimum fine.
Okay, let's do 250.
so he's offered 1,000.
Fine. $1,000.
That would cover our.
I wanna put this behind.
Right.
It's 5 years old and they had an officer fired.
Yeah.
Playing? No, I'm joking.
I would like to make a motion, given the testimony of our village that the permit has been pulled and finalized.
Yes.
The fence was properly installed with no revisions having to been made after it went through P and Z finalized. So it was a proper fence at the time. It just was.
Not
And a
Just
offer-
fixed.
Yeah, an offer of $1,000 will should cover the administrative costs
And the minimum
of
fine.
the administrative costs that the village has incurred over the years of looking at this. I would make a motion to accept $1,000.
I would second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank
Your
you very much.
$1,000 is
Appreciate it.
accepted.
We have a date?
Oh, yes,
Bye.
to be paid by
Tomorrow morning.
December the 27th, if not the
Original lien reinstate.
file an intent, direct the village to file an
Yeah, tomorrow
intent
morning.
lien for the 45,000.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys.
Seven point 16. 1153 Northeast 119th Street, case number EEN 21-0024. Larissa. 7.16. 7.16. Action intent to lien, daily fine of $10 will occur from the complying by date of April 9, 2021 to June 25th, 2021 remain unpaid. Order of enforcement date March 25th, 2021, $100 violation fine was paid. Status fence wall, chapter 8.4 and 11.6. Violation, non-compliant, description, fence installed without permit.
Is there currently a permit pulled on it?
There's not a fence, actually, at the moment.
It's not a good permit.
Yeah.
Observed fence being installed without a permit, so that's what they observed on January 7, 2021. On January 7, 2021, an inspector observed a fence being installed without a permit,
Mhm.
and they issued a notice of violation.
Can I explain a little bit what happened?
Yes.
Okay, so on January, I
Yeah.
had,
Moment, ma'am.
sorry, sorry.
If you would, it's okay. Just let the board, if you could, get all our questions out, then you'll definitely have your time.
Yes, there are pictures here showing, in our documentation, on January the 7th of 2021, there's pictures of the posts having been installed in the front of the along the border of the property. And case was heard, violation of $100, and then a $10 a day fee thereafter.
Violation fee has been paid, but now, again, were there permits pulled? Has this been taken down? Is it in
See that
compliance?
they paid $100 for the violation fine. And the permit was issued on June 25, 2021. So fines ran from the date that they were supposed to comply for 9/21, which is April 9, 21 to June 25, 21. 77 days at $10 an hour. That was $770 plus $100. They paid the $100, so it came down again to $770 forward.
So they are technically in compliance. Any necessary permits pulled,
Yes,
closed,
I pulled the permit
done.
after the fact permit.
So what we appear to be dealing with then is the fine.
Well, I don't know. You previewed it, but thought I heard there is no fence there. Is that?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to ask
Yeah,
also,
that's what I-
because I'm going, a permit was pulled, but is there, if observed fence being installed without a permit? Okay, and they paid the $100, and the $100 was paid when? The paint was
Uh-huh.
23, 22.
No, it's,
This sheet says 9/23/22.
was it, isn't this it?
When we printed it.
It was,
This sheet.
11/27.
No,
11.
no, 11/7 is when I pulled the report.
Oh,
Okay, because the
It's that date, but they paid $100.
the cumulative
It was
sheet shows,
sometime in 2021,
It was around June,
around June.
May or June.
well,
Well, I'm sorry, it was paid on September 23rd,
Yeah,
2022.
that's what it says
2022?
on the
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am,
cumulative sheet.
I have a receipt.
Okay, yeah.
9360 was your receipt. It's dated September 23rd, 2022. So it was a period of time that in the date for the daily fine.
September 2020.
But
That is not the 22 or 21?
21.
Should be 21. I'm
Yeah,
so
because
sorry.
it was when I pull
apologize
out
for
the
that. I should
thing.
be 21,
September 23rd, 2021.
right.
Oh.
All right, so.
It's pretty- Fairly quick, okay.
Oh, here.
So is there a fence there or is there not a fence there?
There's
That's,
no fence. That's
okay.
why I want to explain what happened.
okay, I'm ready for some questions. Yeah, first,
Um,
give us some answers. Thank you,
okay,
ma'am.
So on January, I had a new.
Wait,
tenant.
so you're,
Name and your
I'm sorry, Larissa Garzon Garnett. I'm the owner of 1153, 1155 Norris. So on January, my new tenant, they were an old couple, and the parking was a ramp. So at that moment, they asked me to put something, a security feature, and I had the brilliant idea to put not a fence, a railing. So that's when I got the fine, and I request the permits for a railing, and the city told me that it was not I couldn't do it because it was something that you obstruct the view of the, okay. So at that moment, I decided to do a planter that the city requests me to do engineering plans, and I presented and I had a permit, et cetera, et cetera. Currently, it is a planter. And when the violation occurred, the officer at the moment requested to remove the poles that I put it for the railing. And I removed it because they were no longer a railing, it was going to be a planter. So it was that. So if we go to the dates that you are the fines, that was it was already a permit in for the planter, which I got the permit. Because at that moment, it was only, I got the fine. Yes, I made a mistake. I removed the post, and then I request it because a planter. So these days are not right. And I also, when I make the payments, I make two payments of $25 for a trash in 2019 or something like that. And the 100, I request an explanation of this because I was, I don't understand why. And besides that, after the planter, I request additional permits to paint the concrete and everything. And nobody told me that I had a fine. Otherwise, why I got another permits if I had a fine, So until I got a letter from the city saying that it was an audit, right? And that's why I submit the payments and I request explanation of these fines. And I never got back an answer.
So I went by this order of enforcement. You were to come into compliance by April 9. There's a record in our old system, BSNA, that states that you came into compliance on this date right here, June 25, 2021. So going by what this order of enforcement says, they had charged you with $10 a day if you were not in compliance by April 9. Compliance is recorded June 21 to 77 days that went by.
I have a question. If compliance for what? For the
You-
fence?
The violation was for the fence.
But I was not, never a fence.
Even though you did something different.
But I
there was
remove
still-
it.
there
And
was-
I,
there there was still the violation that was open until you went and removed it and put.
I request a permit for defense and it was declined.
I understand you did something, chose to do something different, but there still was the requirement of a permit that started with the original violation. And it took, unfortunately, a little over 2 months for you to finally pull those proper permits. Even though you chose to do something different, it doesn't negate the original violation.
I'm still confused though, Ms. Garza. Let me ask you a
Yeah, I'm
question.
confused too, sorry.
Ms. Garnett, right?
Gerson Garnet, yes.
Garson Garnett. Your initial intent was to put, did you say a rail up or a fence up?
No, real, to protect the, any driver.
What was it that you put the post up, and then what was gonna
Yeah,
happen?
and then put I was planning to put the post and then, a rail.
So you were gonna cut the post down? Or
What do
just
you
keep
mean?
the post up and then put a railing somewhere along?
Yeah,
those
to
posts?
protect somebody to fall from the ramp of the parking lot.
So the intent was to put up a rail system?
Yes,
Okay, not a fence.
not a fence.
Okay. So then what happened after that on the timeline? You applied for a fence?
Yeah, I applied for a fence and they said, no, you cannot have, not a fence, sorry, a railing. And I have the emails with the city and they said, you cannot do it.
Right, but she says she's applied for a railing and was denied a railing. Is that what that showed, Doreen, that the application was for a railing?
It was a railing, fence will look horrible. No, it's two different things. I was denied for the railing because I couldn't do it.
I just have a question. When was the planner permit?
I can check. I have it here.
I mean, because did that happen in the 77 days? Is that what was going on?
A compliance date of the 25th.
Well, that's just because somebody drove by and filed the affidavit.
February?
No, what we're supposed to do, it's not our responsibility to follow up on a homeowner. If she had got a permit for a planter within shorter than this, then I may look at it and go, okay, the intent was, well, you didn't call in for that. If you have a permit for a planter and it was only 10 days later, so that's only $100. But if it was even after.
So that's why, it's a fine reduction, that's all we would take.
But
We would take.
You're just saying that that's 77 days later. That's when we got the permit for the planter?
No,
Okay, but do you have, Ms. Bridget Garzon Garnett, when was the permit issued for the planter?
I can look for the permit, but I have emails that by March that we were discussing the planter that took very long time and it was denied couple of times, twice.
Because in hearing the conversation, I can understand the confusion. She thought she paid the fine for the actual violation, and then when it changed to something completely different. But even when it changed, there had to be some level of quicker compliance. So, but that's all.
But she's,
Well, that's what she's looking.
she seems to indicate that it happened within that 77 days, and that's what I'm kind of on Dale's page there.
I'd like to make a motion to, first of all, not hear this and table it for next month if she so chooses, either to provide appropriate documentation or come back with a fine reduction
Request.
Either one. If you have documentation showing that you obtained a permit for a planter using the same things, I'd entertain that. If not, if it's after those 77 days, you may want to request a fine reduction because you worked on it.
No, I do have it because at that moment I was, working on the famous planter.
Understand?
So you only need the permit? I can find the permit for the planter. And to
Is that something that Doreen, that you could find too?
I'll look through the system. I've never heard of a permit for a planter,
Yeah,
but
me neither,
but-
but we got it.
I've heard of a permit for a fence.
An engineering
So
plans for a
I can
planter.
go through the system, because usually, as you see the other cases, I go.
Well,
into the
if we could
building
even-
department System and pull whatever permits they have. Haven't seen a permit.
If we
However,
could-
I went by the documentation that the officer did, which is to say she came into compliance on such and such a date. And it's, right.
Could I just make my motion? to Table this until the January hearing, the resident can come back with appropriate documentation or file for a, fine reduction.
I have approved that it was on April 19, it was the second submission of the plan.
You need to show us the permit.
Okay, I
Okay,
will,
so just come back in January.
I go through
Or,
her.
yeah, go with there because you may not have to come back. They may come back, say they want to, it's in compliance and I don't know.
You could either come back with the permit, well, both actually come back with the permit and a fine reduction request. Right. Because then if we see when the permit was applied for, or I was thinking when she went in front of P and Z and the fence was denied, you can factor X number of days, so she probably took everything down.
You know, I'd like to make my motion to, table this to there. You
Table.
can work with the village
Yes.
on what needs to be done, but for us, just to table it.
To
till next
January.
month.
Second it.
Thank you so much for that. Happy holiday.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
All right, second it. I got
Me.
2 of them.
Oh, one,
All right, I think Mike could.
okay.
Seven point 15. 7.15.
15?
1109 Northeast 118th Street, case number EEN-21-0987. Michael, can you please pronounce your name for me?
What's your name for us? So we can Google it.
Michael Leovano.
Leovano?
Yes.
Okay. Action intent to lien, separate order of enforcement issue for each offense under the same case number. Status non-compliant, violation permit required, double fee, chapter 16. Description, addition, electrical work, concrete steps, door replaced without permit.
I do have a couple questions. It says 4 separate orders of enforcement. I come up with a total of $123,335. Is that right? Because I have one for, case number EE 18-103 of $15,480. One for EE 21-987 for $15,480. Another one for, the other 2 are both also for EE-21-987, one for $74,800 and one for $17,575.
That's correct. This is a very unique case and, the board at the time issued 4 separate orders of enforcement under one case.
All right.
So that calculation is what we would go with.
We broke it, I remember it very well, we broke it into 4 because there were 4
Separate violations.
structural issues.
Right.
And there are still no permits, is that correct?
So, right. They have. For each offense. Did you get one of this? We have the calculations. Now, I'm looking for the permits. I don't believe they got permits for this because I usually print permits out when I see them. I see one here, they went to P and Z for windows and doors. And they paid $100 each for 2 separate cases.
Yeah, the doors and the steps, they paid the violation fine.
Right. I didn't print any permits, that means I didn't see any. No.
Can't do any reduction if there's no permits.
No permits,
No permit.
unless he has something. No permits have been obtained for these 4 separate orders of enforcement.
And we're dealing with things that are 2 years old and still no permit? Yep, 2 years.
It's mine. Okay. Um, the last time,
Or if you would,
as far as I know, the last,
Identify yourself and your relationship.
oh, I thought I
with
did
the
that
community.
already. It's Michael Leovano, born and raised in Biscayne Park, 1981, 1109 Northeast 118th Street. As the last time that we spoke, if I can recall, it was a long time ago. Code enforcement came over to my property to inspect it, and we had verified that that we were in compliance and that they had made an error for some of the things that they had that they coded us for. As
What documentation, sir? Do you-
So do you have permits
um
for the work done?
we didn't need permits because we actually invited them over to our property for inspection.
But every building that needs to be done, the code enforcement doesn't do inspection. It's the building official who does the inspection and everything needs to be.
I mean,
pulled with permits.
it's documented, that
Where?
I had come to a meeting and we basically, they coded us for major electrical work that was actually done by FPL because FPL routed our lines underground and they assumed that we did that work, but we did not do that work. That was done by FPL in our part of Biscayne Park. And they weren't aware of that at the time.
But is,
So,
You said you have documentation. Did you bring any of that tonight?
well, I mean, it's just public information because we had come to the one of the meetings and we all agreed that that was not going to be part of anything that we had done.
But did
We
you do an
did
addition?
we did a basic remodel of the home. We just did like, we believe in like remodel, like, a remodel restoration type deal here. So,
You put in doors and windows and steps?
we did put in, a set of doors, and we did put in some steps. Yes.
And you did it without permits?
Yeah, we didn't realize the replacement of the doors and the steps. Like we didn't,
It's structural.
yeah.
It's,
Sir, you've had 2 years. You haven't pulled the permit in 2 years.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm just letting you guys know, exactly what happened. So I had no idea that we had this outstanding. We pulled permits for so many different things over the,
I remember you in front of us, and you've also been in front of us on another issue. So you've had a lot of interaction. And if you had doubts and questions, you've had time to answer.
no, we've like done everything that we were supposed to do as, we've been here a few times. We pulled permits. We've done everything. We've had
Permits for these
inspections
4 items are still outstanding.
that
Not-
What did you pull permits for again?
we pulled permits for, AC.
I saw that,
We pulled permits for, short-term rental.
yes.
Um,
I issued that.
those are entirely different from what this is.
Right.
This is doors, windows, steps.
Or addition. that you
Yeah.
did Without permit.
we didn't do an addition,
There's addition here.
but we never did an addition. We never added on to the home. The home is the same square footage. We just remodeled the home.
All the steps and the doors, were those done?
I mean, we did add a set of doors and a set of steps. But with the electrical and all these types of things that we're talking about, that was verified by Biscayne Park that was an error. They came by and looked at. Can I see that picture?
Got the picture. Bottom line is all of these items, these permits to be pulled. Can't even talk about the fines until the permits are pulled.
And one of the things I'm still kind of confused about is there's the testimony from the homeowner is that he didn't pull a permit, but Biscayne Park came in and inspected and said everything was okay. Is that something, Doreen, that is done?
Biscayne Park doesn't inspect except on permits. That's the only time they inspect.
The
it. It's
guys
the
came
building
over to my
official.
place and I
It's
showed them
not
my
code.
place. I brought them in.
Code
Do you remember
the-
the guy name?
The code enforcers came because they had initially, fined me for this, and I told them that it was not correct,
So
and
they issued you with a violation.
and they came. I invited them over to verify, and I showed them that the electrical work that they were talking about was not accurate.
Well, if that had
It was
happened, they
was
would've been
done by
back in front of
FPL.
us asking
That's
for
not
a
something that we
dismissal.
could do. That's fine.
If code enforcement officer had had a reason to change their position, they would have brought the case back in front of us for dismissal.
Those code officers are no longer with
But
Biscayne
they were
Park, so
here
I'm
long
not sure
enough
what they
to
did.
come back and ask for a dismissal.
I'm just
Again,
letting you guys know exactly what
Our
is going on.
building, when there's a permit, the building official does inspections. The code does not
This is the
inspect.
electrical. This is not an addition. This is the original home. This is a picture of the electrical.
What about the steps, the door,
The steps and the door, yes.
and the electrical?
That is all FPL. That has nothing to do with me. And that's not an addition. That's just stucco work.
So-
That's if the house is the same square footage. That never changed.
They would have come back and, sure.
It's public record. I have no reason to stand up here and tell you otherwise.
This is exactly what I would give them.
I understand that. I'm not arguing with you. Like, I know that you have paperwork,
you-
but we
you
also
need to
have,
get after the fact.
there's
permits.
also testimony. It's recorded testimony, like the guy came over to our house and he verified.
You need-
I have no reason to lie about that.
You need to get.
I'm not lying to you guys about anything. I'm up
You
here.
need to get after the fact permits for the work that was done.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with you 100%.
The only permits that are in the system are for an AC.
And I'm here now because I got a violation report this week. And to be 100% honest with you, I did not know that this was outstanding. If I would have known this was outstanding, I would have been taking care of this a long time ago.
So you haven't pulled the permits, so. of
There
course
was
it's
a
gonna
lot of
be
confusion
outstanding.
about the violations. I'm telling you.
Understand, I'll make a motion, but anyway. On the, case before us, EEN 21-098, I'd, direct the village to, move, file the lien for the total of, as it stands right now, $123,335. Paid by for the 27th. And administrative fees of 50. Filing fees as appropriate.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Our code, I believe, is any work that's done over the cost of $100 needs a permit.
Motion passes 3-1. I'm sorry.
No, it was an aye.
Aye. 4.
4-0.
Oh. it's-
I'm sorry.
no. Motion passes 4-0. I stand corrected.
Work over $100 needs a permit.
That's fine, but what about the dismissed violations?
No dismissed fine.
We have
These.
no evidence
Or
of
are act-
dismissed.
You find anything, get with the village.
Please,
But
right.
Before December the
Yeah,
27th.
yeah, we have, it's on, we have the,
Then get with the village because you can ask for an extension of their filing the lien and they can bring back the documentation. As it is right now, we don't have that and you didn't bring it.
Right.
But you have until December the 27th to get that documentation, get with the village. You can ask for an extension so that they won't file the lien. So it can be brought back before us with the documentation.
that's fine, I can do that. But I mean, that's a bit of a harsh thing that you guys are doing.
That,
We didn't do it. We just took what was here and just directed the village.
But
File the
I'm
lien.
testifying to you, I'm telling you on record that it was dismissed.
by what is on.
And you guys aren't even taking that into
Sure,
consideration.
you have to December 27th, sir.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's okay. But I mean, we all deserve like a little bit of time here to get ourselves together.
You've had 2 years.
I just received the violation. I just received the violation after 2 years. I didn't know that it was
Received the
outstanding.
violations 2 years ago. Okay. At any rate, if you have documentation that proves any of this wrong, it needs to be delivered to Village Hall, to anyone in the code department by December 27th at the latest.
And request the extension to be brought back before us. That's all.
Okay, no
And-
problem.
And for future work over $100, you need a permit.
Yes, ma'am.
Seven point 11113-15 Northeast 10th Avenue. Case number CEN 22 95. Nadia. 7.19. Action intentionally violation fine of $250 remain unpaid. Status visible triangle, chapter 5.4.1 violation non-compliant. Description palm trees, abstracting view of the intersection, I'm sorry.
Hi.
Can you come closer to the mic, please?
Sure.
Has the stability triangle, is that all been complied with? That's okay. Okay, questions from the board?
What, did you say that it has been complied with?
They've cleared it up, they've cut it up nicely.
That we're just dealing with the $250 that has not, the fine has not been paid.
That's correct.
As of today, still not paid.
Unpaid as of today.
Is any fine reduction motion made?
Haven't requested that.
That's our basic fine. Not a daily.
Right.
It's not a daily, it's not significantly reduced.
Okay, so my name is Nadia. May I speak? Hi, so my name is Nadia Deravine. I am the owner of 11113-15 Northeast 10th Avenue. And yes, I am aware of the violation fine of $250, and I would like to know how can I go about either requesting a fine reduction or an extension.
In terms of an extension to pay it off.
or get it reduced because I am in compliance and I have been doing everything to the T.
But the violation did occur.
Yes, that is, I'm not debating that.
Was there like when the violation occurred, there was any cure timeframe that was not in compliance?
But on those violations that receive courtesy notices and they comply by deadlines, it's one thing, but she went all the way to notice a violation.
Right, well, that's what I'm saying. Did she went through that process of the courtesy?
Process, the reason we brought it to the board was they hadn't complied on time. But after we brought it to the board, they did comply.
So I was in communication with the code enforcement before you guys brought it to the board. We had emails with the code to, basically tell me what needs to be cut down and how to go about it. This is way before it got to the board. So I do want to mention that.
Compliance before we brought it or after? I believe it was.
I feel like it was in compliance before because I got the fee, added to my account after the fact. After speaking to the volunteer of the assistant.
So you got a courtesy notice and you said before the fine was imposed, it's your testimony that it was, you were in compliance?
Yes, before I got the violation, yes, I was in compliance.
Well, violation was issued February 15th. We don't normally issue violations if someone's in compliance. So you may have come into compliance before the hearing. But
Okay.
once the violation is issued, there is a violation. Therefore, there is a fine attached.
That's why I was going to point out that
Okay.
what we're looking at is the case was already heard.
Right.
While the resident may have come in compliance, it could have been the day of the hearing or the day before, they were in compliance. That's why it wasn't a daily.
See, there's no daily.
Thing, it was just, there was a violation occurred, it wasn't trimmed or remedied by time of the courtesy notice one was issued out. And
Oh, it's already ruled on, basically.
yes,
And this is now intentionally to go the next step.
Well, because the 250 hadn't been paid.
I would suggest if she pays it by December 27th, if not, then the intent to lien letter.
Am I able to request a fine reduction before then? Between now and December 27th?
You're free to, that incurs what, a $50 paperwork charge? Am I correct? That would be a $50 charge and there's form you would need to fill out.
Okay.
And just to be honest, you'll be looking at administrative fees.
On top
Most
of
likely.
which, yeah.
Which are minimum 250.
You're saying if I go the fine reduction route?
I'm only saying proceeding any further, right now, the
Right.
motion right now
Gotcha.
is just for you to pay the 250.
Got it. Okay.
Never motion include anything about administrative fee at this time.
Yeah.
Which tells me that she's being a little kind.
Okay.
Proceed.
You
I would probably
will
make it-
have the $50
Application fee.
And yes, the potential, I speak for no one other than me.
Mhm.
Potential is, in addition to the 250, there would be administrative charges.
Gotcha.
Because it incurs more work on the part of staff.
Got it. Okay, understood. So I'll just go ahead and pay before the 27th to make
My
life
motion
easier.
would be that she pays the 250 by December 27th. If not, the village files the intent to lien letter.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You know what, this is after the fact. But we didn't think of it again at the time. If you're filing the lien, you could have the administrative costs at that time and the filing. So,
Thank you. Appreciate that. You're right.
but I'm
It's definitely
certain.
so- We all hope come to that, but it does come to that, yes, and the administrative fee and whatever the phone fee is. Thank you, I appreciate the reminder.
7.2. 7.2, 910. 910 Northeast 121st Street, case number EEN -22 -0524, 910 Northeast 112th Street LLC, 112th Street LLC, care of registration agent Mark Silver. Action intent to lien, non-compliant, violation chapter 16.14, double fee permit, description, illegal efficiency, unpermitted bathroom efficiency.
Yeah, that, I have to check that LLC, but it should be 121st Street. They just wrote it backwards, Mayor. Yeah.
Can you tell me what it
Instead
is?
instead of put 121, they put 112.
Oh, it's 121. Okay, I'm sorry. I will correct that. 124th Street LLC.
Here's another case that we are asking to change the action from intent to lien. We are requesting a dismissal. I just passed out email that came from the building official. Mr. Server had met with the building official to explain what he couldn't convince me of. This violation came about because a tenant of his had reported an illegal efficiency. However, after the building official looked at this case, went through the county records, he found out that this was not an illegal efficiency. It was a room that was permitted, the bathroom was permitted from the 70s or 60s.
Yeah.
1971.
1971.
Before I
He
owned the
found
building.
he found the county records and he actually sent me that email to say that he was never in violation. It was just beef that he had between him and his tenant.
Remember you being here.
I remember the case.
Yeah.
Yes, I was
very well.
convinced until the building official showed me the records.
The tenant at the time, present too.
Yes, you are.
She was very upset that she had to move out and she was paying a certain amount of rent and it was very cheap. And she was there for quite a long time. And then she was requested to move out and she was upset about that. So she,
We won't get into
Yeah.
personal. Right.
Well, unless there's any questions, given the new information that we received in the permit, the schematic of the building and all, I'd request that make a motion to dismiss, or do you have to rescind the prior, order of enforcement?
I believe we would, yes.
Yeah, rescind prior order of enforcement. You need to signed on order of enforcement, August the 17th, 2022. That was case number EEN -22 -524. That was signed August 17th, 2022. Send that and dismiss the case.
I would second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Zero.
Thank you, sir.
all right, thank you. Thank you for all your help. with this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize for giving you hell. I apologize for giving you hell. I wasn't having it with him.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
What is this?
It's the way he was explaining it to me and I was just like, no, it's not happening. But he was right all along. Poor thing.
Well, you thought it was illegal?
I thought it was illegal. I mean, I needed documentation to show me it wasn't
You-
illegal.
If you look at the pictures that were provided and without what he just gave us tonight, would have thought it was illegal
Yeah.
too. That's how bad the construction was.
Wow.
Well, okay.
Maria?
Well, it ends well.
That's him? Okay. 7.22,
Sorry, agenda item number again?
7.22.
You.
You're welcome. Mhm.
Last to arrive at the last.
Mhm. 11.
Here. Last one to here.
Mhm.
You guys are almost done.
11390 Northeast 8th Avenue.
In compliance, just the fine remains unpaid, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Questions? Questions, comments?
So the intent to lien is the violation is non-compliant. What, shed boarded up? I don't it look boarded up to me. It looks like a shed. Not sure what we're looking at here.
I need you to speak up.
I thought I was speaking in. It says the shed is boarded up, but the pictures that I see, it's just a shed. 722, right?
20. 22?
22.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, well, basically.
I was on the wrong one,
a
my fault.
Violation is,
My fault.
yeah, a violation occurred and it remains unpaid.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. The original,
So it's been fixed.
Okay, so the pic,
Pictures we're seeing from 2021 show it fixed.
yeah, what are these pictures the before or the after?
those pictures,
Yeah.
that is before.
What does it mean boarded up? It doesn't,
I don't understand the language as well. Is it observed shed still boarded? Has issued to remove back in 2018. This order of enforcement is from June 14, 2021. So just looking at this, they had been asked to remove it at some point in 2021, but it was still up there.
In 2018, I believe, is when they applied for a variance and it wasn't granted, because if you look at that shed, is it not in the setback?
It is. But wait.
So it was supposed to have been removed.
Well, if this has already been heard,
Yeah.
then we're not rehearing.
No,
this.
I know,
No.
I'm
We're
just giving a
basically
background.
just
I'm just
coming to
giving a
find out.
background.
Fine.
Is there a reason why the fine hadn't been paid?
My name is Marie Emmanuel Tiard, and
I'm sorry, if you please would identify yourself again
Sure.
and your relationship to the property?
Marie Emmanuel Tiard, and I'm the owner of 11390 Northeast 8th Avenue. So the shed was removed and then we received the fine. And we were in contact with the village manager to try to see if we could get the fine reduced. And we went back and forth several times and we never got a resolution to the request.
Actually, my name is Laurent Nogno. I'm her husband, same address. I sent several emails to try to find, like a settlement or something, never got any answer. Sent an email in February, in May, several ones. We came here multiple times. We asked for a permit to put another shed, which we did. We got the permit, all of that is done. But what I wanted to say is that that shed that was not in compliance, it has been approved by a Biscayne Park inspector. And if you look in your files, you will see that that shed had been approved and signed. So that's the reason why and also that fine that we received it after removing the shed, after putting the new shed and having the shed approved.
And
Any of that here, but
in June, we sent an email to the village manager, which was Mario Diaz at the time, with a picture of the shed being removed.
Okay,
And
but bear with me.
Yes.
The order of enforcement is dated June 14th, so that's when the fine would have been issued.
correct, but the email that was
Wait,
sent to the
yeah.
manager was June
Yeah.
7th, and we have an
It's-
email.
May I finish?
Sure.
Okay, the pictures on June 2nd show they're still there. Are you saying between June 2nd and June 14th?
Yes, it was removed.
It was removed.
Correct. There was an email that was sent to the manager. I believe it was like the beginning of June with a picture of the shed being removed. There was like an empty location.
2023?
2021, I think before we got
2021.
Yes,
I have
before
the
we got the
email and I have the
violation.
pictures.
Do you have them here?
Yeah. Can show you.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had.
well, I mean, wouldn't the proper thing is to that to the village, just have the
Right.
case brought back.
W-
I
exactly,
hate
not us.
setting cases.
Well, I'm so sorry, but we just received the notice. We didn't have any chance to prepare. We weren't aware of this until I
And
received
because
something
just
by
like I
mail
read-
yesterday.
Just like I read in the preamble, we can't look at that off your phone.
Okay,
Because that has to go in the file.
sure.
But that's in your mailbox. If you look in the mailbox, that's email that have been sent.
That's why I'm apt to suggest that we
Right.
postpone this to next month,
Exactly.
get with the village, provide your documentation, and then set it accordingly, either for a fine reduction or to have it dismissed. I mean, whatever y'all work out with the village, fine, but given your testimony now and alleged information that you have, I'm inclined to ask at the table.
I agree.
Okay.
But if y'all want to proceed, then given the information I currently have, I'd like to have it
Yes. we
tabled
have-
till next month
Okay, we have the email. We will forward it on.
and get with the village. Well, with that, I'd like to make a motion to table until January's hearing.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Resolved
good
it.
night.
Happy holidays, yes.
Can you tell me who second, please?
I made the motion and Mike, second.
Thank you.
4-0.
Mike, did you have a question? What should I call I live in South Carolina. I shorten everything.
I know, I'm not gonna get it.
7.4. 1019 Northeast 115th Street. Case number CEN 23-406. Belize Investment LLC.
We're all the way.
Yeah, we're starting it.
This is the loud music one?
Yes.
And it was paid on November 30th, right?
That's correct. Here's another case that we were asking for intent to lien. However, we looked through, this lady came in November 30, paid the fine, so we're asking to close the case.
Motion. In view of the fact that the fine has been paid on CEN 23-406, I would move that we close the case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 4-0.
Seven point five, 1055 Northeast 119th Street, case number EEN 20-0696. Ardia LLC. Care of registered agent, Winner, Maryland. Action order to dismiss case, status permit required double fee, chapter 16. Violation non-compliant, description, the driveway installed without permit.
This property owner was cited for installing a driveway. But if you look at the evidence, it shows that they have 6 pavers placed on the grass and it's not a driveway.
Okay, good. That's what I was thinking. So I'll move to dismiss the violation.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one.
Yeah. I couldn't.
It's almost like a ribbon drive.
Oh.
To mirror the ribbon.
Yep.
I'm just more concerned. Looks like they've been parking on the
Mhm.
grass.
Sure.
Right, and we could cite them for parking on the grass. However, to issue them a violation for installing a driveway was not appropriate.
I'll make a motion to.
Already got one.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0. I have to admit, I sort of wondered exactly what I was looking at.
You see, I put question marks all across. the-
7.18. One zero nine one one Northeast Night Court, case number CEN 23 82. Bianca Amaro, ESQ, action appeal. Status chapter 19.1.3, license required, violation non-compliant. Description, March 2023, renting a property on a short-term basis without first obtaining a license. Permit from the Village of Biscayne Park, no license application on record for short-term or long-term rental. A fine of $1,000 remain unpaid as of date of notice.
She came in today and paid $1,000. We're asking to close this case.
Close the case as the fine has been paid.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. 7.20.
Did she get a permit for a short-term rental?
She chose not to, and I checked the records today. She's not advertising
I
to
was gonna
rent.
say, yeah, that's. Next time it's 2,000.
Right.
7.20. 11140 Griffin Boulevard. Case number EEN 220579. Jeffrey Goldsfield. Patricia Goldsfield. Action attend to lien, violation fine of $100 remain unpaid. Status property maintenance, chapter 8.4 and 11.6. Violation in compliance. Description failed to maintain gate in proper condition.
Gate has been repaired, but they haven't paid the $100 fine.
I'd like to make a motion to direct the village to file a lien for $100, administrative fee of $250, and a filing fee as applicable.
I'll second.
I'll second. Oh, you got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
This is Dale Judy.
No, it was Janie.
Sorry.
I thought she was asking for a second.
7.21 11140 Griffin Boulevard. Case number EEN 19-1636. Jeffrey Goldsfield and Patricia Goldsfield. Action intent to lien, status in compliance. Violation fence wall, chapter 11.9. Description. Dilapidated a chain link fence.
This is in compliance. $500 has not been paid.
Still not paid as,
Still not paid.
make a motion for the village to file the intent to lien for the $500 plus $250 administrative fee and any applicable filing fees.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
So 7.26. 11-780 Northeast 8th Avenue, case number EEN 22-0341, B Park 117 LLC. Care of registered agent Val Zilville. Action order to dismiss, notice appeared to 6/29/2022. Gold board hearing sent to the previous property owner. 7.26.
26, it's 25 and then it's.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay,
Very similar.
okay. Order of enforcement issued to another owner, Golden Brick Group LLC. The property has since been sold to another owner, Beat Park 117 LLC. Demolished and a new house is presently being built. Status: exterior paint, planning and zoning approved, required, chapter 8.4. Violation: null and void. Description: house is need of interior paints.
So the house was torn down and a new one is being built.
That's
It
correct.
was- Yeah,
Correct.
then it was, the village just saying, at requesting we dismiss it because, the previous property owner was, not,
Wrong names, homeowners, yeah.
they'd like to make a motion, I make a motion to dismiss.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
It passes 4-0.
Seven point 25. No. This one was 26. 11780 Northeast 8th Avenue, case number EEN 22-0340, B Park 117 LLC, care of registered agent Val. Action: order to dismiss notice of appeal to the 6/29/2022 court board hearing sent to the previous property owner, Linda G. Burrows. Order to enforcement issued to another owner, Golden Bricks Group LLC. The property has since been sold to another owner, B Park 117 LLC. Demolished and a new house is presently being built. That is property maintenance, chapter 8.4, violation, null and void. Description: dirty roof.
This is the same situation as the last one. I'll make a motion to dismiss.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Mike and Judy? Okay. Sorry. 7.27, 11853 Griffin Boulevard, case number EEN 22-0195, Lewis.
Wow.
Action: intent to lien, violation fine of $75 remain unpaid. Status: property maintenance, chapter 8.4, violation in compliance, unpaid fine. Description: dirty roof.
Fine was paid today, property in compliance.
Paid?
Yes, they paid today.
Motion to close the case.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay. So 8.1, 715 Northeast 115th Street, CEN 23-259. Marcella 8 Lopez. Action: motion to dismiss the Village of Biscayne of Park ordinance regarding renting a room needed to be clarified. The property owner will be informed when the clarification is made. Status: section 19.1.3, a short-term vacation rental. Violation: non-compliant. Description: renting a room on a short-term basis without first attending a license with the Village of Biscayne Park.
You know, the village passed that last night.
Oh, I didn't watch
Second
the
reading.
meeting.
On
What-
second reading, yeah.
What did they pass?
What's the?
They passed the amendments to the short-term rental ordinance, which now will include
Renting a room.
They
Because-
can't rent rooms without a
But we
license.
can't on this one.
No,
because
no, I'm just,
Going forward.
oh,
might
thank
wanna
you for
get a
that.
copy of the ordinance.
I'll go and watch it
I-
tonight.
I was wondering if we shouldn't send it out to all these people because in the past, we've dismissed several cases. But I think there needs to be a mailing to let people know. It includes a room.
Yeah, they rephrased it. I'm trying to do this from memory, something to the effect of these various state licenses are only going to be required if the state requires them. If not, the village still will require.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I have to give them credit. They moved very quickly.
Thank you for that.
Said something and they moved. And I really appreciate that.
I'd like on a motion.
Yes. Sure.
And, to dismiss, case.
I second.
CN 23-25.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
8.2, 826 Northeast 121st Street, case number CEN 23-394, Jen Ruth and W Denise, care of registered agent Laurel Bovaro. Action order of enforcement status non-compliant violation section 11.6.7 maintenance description.
It's a shame this does.
Well, I have a question.
You got it.
Before we get this, so are you what? Given that he hired a new attorney, are we just asking to this be postponed or? And then I have a question, is there any way the village can direct this property to be fenced? I mean, it's a derelict property and it's structurally unsound, I believe, the building official said it was. And whether there's litigation or not, shouldn't the property be fenced?
Another check with the attorney.
Because we already have one other property that we ordered it to be fenced because the roof was falling in. And if the building inspector has deemed this to be an unsound structure, then property should be cited or property owner should be notified to have it fenced and given a time.
Correct, this one has already been labeled unsafe structure.
Point taken, I will bring it up with the building official.
Okay, thank you. So with regards to this, I would ask that we table it until the next hearing. I mean,
It's up to the board. You can put an order of enforcement in place, or we could.
They didn't ask for anything.
He was just asking what we posted, and I said to him, there's been another attorney coming, so I'm not sure who I'm supposed to be talking to.
Now, he does say in the email that he's gonna remove the graffiti tomorrow. You guys have to take the check.
Those pictures we attached.
Oh, I'm sorry, hello, Judy. That probably was a good reason you did that. So it's not removed. So, yeah, I'm not big on tabling it.
I don't want the table because I'm tired of hearing a lot of these things over and over. So, was there a courtesy notice or anything, or this was, because I had already put a violation occurred, I mean, my preview thing, and.
While we didn't do a written courtesy notice in a meeting that we had with the attorneys, not
Right.
Kramer, the other attorneys, before the situation happened with him, I was very specific about the issue.
Right.
I told them it needed to be cleaned up or I would issue a violation. A month later, nothing was done, so we went ahead and issued the violation.
I like to make a motion that a violation has occurred, have it corrected by, and assess a fine of $250. Correct the violation by December the 27th, if not a $250 per day fine, and administrative costs of $250, and that's on case CEN-23-392.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
8.4, 11140 Griffin Boulevard, case number CEN 23-252. Jeffrey Goldsfield, Patricia Goldsfield, witness Carla. Action to be dismissed, status in compliance, violation of wrong address, 6.3.4 of the Land Development Code. Description, removes tree and garden, refuse place on the property and not to be, and or not removed.
What, so it wasn't their stuff, it was somebody else's? The debris?
In reference to this, the citation was posted at the wrong address.
Oh, okay.
And the notice of violation of the wrong address.
Right, the addresses are very similar. One is 11140, one is 11400. So it was our mistake, we posted at the wrong address. I mean, we issued a violation to the wrong address.
I'll make a motion to dismiss.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
That was Michael Dale.
Yeah.
And Dale. I can't learn.
We've gone through all the cases.
All right, so what are we gonna do now? Just approve the minutes from before? Let's do it.
Got a list?
Are we actually ready?
Done. We're waiting for.
Sure.
Yes.
We're absolutely certain.
You had moved the,
Oh,
you had moved the minutes to
Okay.
the end. Start with September.
yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Actually, you're the chair. You need to.
Huh?
I'll just talk because I'm ready.
Good,
Ready to go
good, good,
home.
good. I know, but unfortunately, we have issues. Okay, going to September. If we go to C, it says full compliance by October 4th, but what it doesn't say, fine to be paid by October 4th or village to file intent to lien. And that's pretty critical.
60.
60.
60.
Paid by 10/4. Intent to lien.
In September.
There was one other thing I thought, bear with me. Yeah, not, I'm sorry, 6-0 is in Oscar. The paragraph, well, the sentence that strikes, in addition, the property owner is required to pull an after-the-fact construction permit going all the way down to November 2nd, 2023. That needs to have been up under 6M because that was part of case 303. So that whole paragraph needed to move up.
6M.
Now, something that concerns me, and Michael is an attorney, you may be able to tell me whether or not I'm overthinking. The use of the word reaffirm, like a motion was made to reaffirm the violation. When I see the, and I should have caught this sooner, when I see the word reaffirm, that to me says, well, it already was a violation, we're just reaffirming it. But when you hear what I read in the preamble, it says, we are here to make the decision as to whether or not a violation has occurred. So I would think the proper word would be affirm versus reaffirm.
Well, reaffirm means you're doing something again.
Right, and we're not doing it again, we're deciding for the first time, that's, so anywhere that the word reaffirm is used, I'm gonna ask that that be changed to affirm. It's gotta go in conjunction with what I'm reading in that preamble.
You have to make a motion for that?
No.
Okay.
Consensus, if you guys.
Okay, me.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I really like it changed if it's not hideously difficult because like Michael said, reaffirm says you're doing it again, but we're not. We're supposed to be deciding if the.
No,
Yeah.
you're reaffirming that they've already been cited with the violation and we're just, I see what Janie's saying. It's semantics. I got it. I thought it through now. You're affirming that the village was correct in giving the violation. All right, I can deal with that.
Any other corrections for September? Okay.
Change the
We
word.
need to make a motion.
Oh, I'm
to-
sorry. Thank
I'll make a
you.
motion to accept the September minutes.
See them.
Oh.
See the changes. Yeah, especially that one. with
After
the
Janie sees the changes next month.
Especially the one with that paragraph.
I'll second.
All right, so table the minutes until.
Minutes to be tabled until corrections made, hopefully in January. Okay.
October.
Can you tell me who motioned out, please? Jenny and Mike?
Yeah, who did make? Well, yeah, table amendment, I made the motion.
Seconded by
Mike.
Mike, okay. So it's 4-0.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
October. For September. October. Same way with the, okay, let's start with the substance first. Under where it says approval of minutes, it's the September 20th minutes amended. Well, that kind of makes it seem like we approved amended minutes. We didn't. I think that really should say September minutes for September 2023 tabled for corrections. Same way with the reaffirm and affirms, those need to change. Under 8C, what's missing is the amount of the violation fee, which was $250. It just goes to the administrative fee of $250. And let's see, and the daily fine are listed, but not the violation fine. So the violation fine on 8C needs to go in there.
C.
And under 8G, the administrative fine is repeated twice. It should be violation did occur and a violation fine of $250 was assessed. The board assessed an administrative fee of $250, and I'm not sure what got in there after that. And plus a due.
You mean a plus?
That's what it says. I do. That's what it wrote.
That's not a G. Oh, yeah. That's true.
I'm not the world's best grammarian.
No.
These were getting a little cringeworthy.
Right, these were corrections we made.
So this one needs the violation fine wording to be in there of the $250. Then the daily fine needs to go in there if they don't comply by the 30th of November. Okay, we got that one. On 8H, also the violation fine needs to be listed of $250. And it should be administrative fee of $250 was assessed. That's what I mean about the grammar is getting funky. We're mixing tenses and things. I think that might have been my last one. Yes. Any other correction?
Well,
I think you had.
mine is more of a question because last month there was there was a lot going on. But I have that on 7A that it was, Bill made the motion and that Judy
Works for me. I'll go with that.
seconded. And then the same on 7B.
Yeah, I had Judy in
I had-
7B too.
Yeah,
Yes,
Dale and Judy.
correct.
And then on 7C, I had Janie made the motion,
And 7C.
7C,
Janie and
Made the
seconded.
motion? Oh,
and Dale seconded.
gotcha.
And then on 7E, I had that Dale made the motion, seconded by Janie.
That's what I had.
So that was about it.
And also the reaffirm, affirms thing, the reaffirms need to go to affirm. We've covered that.
I'm probably the one that said we were- Well,
Okay. I think we got through that. Now on to the next discussion.
confirming that.
Okay. Oh, the hearing dates, guys. I just happened to be stumbling my way through the calendar and it showed that, the meeting dates had been moved to the first Wednesday of the month. Aside from my wanting to know how everybody feels about that, I gotta say straight out, the first week in January and the first week in February and the last week in January, I'm out of town, so I don't know how we feel in general. First of all, I want to know how you guys all feel in general about the first Wednesday of the month. 'Cause some of them are coming off holidays and things like that, so what's your opinion on that?
You mean for January?
In general, because
Just getting back, and without a date, I don't know what you're talking about.
they've moved them.
Oh, no, I'm just getting back.
17.
On the calendar, it shows January 3rd.
month.
The village.
First November.
Hang on, the village calendar, hon.
Let me see.
I'm sorry.
No, on a Monday, right?
Yeah, we didn't bring the list, but we have it as January 17th.
Okay, I'm gonna go by, well, and you might want to change that calendar. All right, January 17th. Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
To the best of my knowledge, yeah.
I'm sorry, hon.
To the best of my knowledge, yeah.
Okay. Now, Doreen, do you have February?
Have a whole list,
Is there a way you can get it to me in advance so I can look at my calendar?
February 15th? Thursday.
Is it the Thursday?
Yep. 14th is
Sorry, I'm
Valentine's
looking
Day.
at 23.
February 14th?
No.
It's Valentine's Day.
February
24.
Saturday.
February, we have February 14th.
It's Valentine's Day.
That's Valentine, so we can change that to the 21st.
21st? Is that okay with everybody at this point, as far as you know?
No.
No.
No, but a lot of people have activities that they,
Yes.
Okay, so 21?
Okay, so we'll do, so far we'll do January 17th. Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
17 and 2, 21. Do we want to do one more month just so we have 3 months out?
Sure.
I don't know what we're working with. Do we want to do March 20?
we're not doing the first Wednesdays.
Sorry?
So we're not doing first Wednesdays.
No. Well, why do you think when I was on the calendar and I'm like, huh? And especially first Wednesday in January, but they couldn't get all that work done over a holiday. Is that all we want to do for now, the first 3 months? Okay. We can kind of move on. Guys, are you good? With 17th of January, 21st of Feb, and 20th of March? Yes. Okay. Now, the next one is yours, the electronic agenda. Just,
For the electronic agenda, the manager suggested going electronic with the agenda items for
you mean,
board members.
after he saw this?
Right. It's not just that, it's that it takes us until 9 o'clock at night to prepare the agenda.
Yeah, that's great.
Well,
Deliver them.
in deference to him, he also emailed board chairs on Friday, and I had a chance to explain to him that really we always had gotten it electronically. That was the way. This was a newer situation. And a couple of months, even after we went to paper, I did get it in Dropbox, but I don't know, maybe staff just, look, I'm technologically illiterate, so I have no disrespect intended, but maybe staff is having issues because it would be out of order and the things wouldn't be named in such a way that it would be easy for me to put them in the right order. So I said, fine, give me the paper. But really, it's nuts. It's a waste of tax dollars and it's a waste of time.
Yeah, I just had a problem with opening it. I could never open the product.
I had trouble with the Dropbox being opened when I was a commissioner. When I was a commissioner, they would send things in Dropbox. I could never open.
What about on OneDrive? Do you guys do OneDrive?
A PDF will be fine. And originally I could I received it in Dropbox, but something, the last time we were doing electronically, I just wasn't getting the information. And then sometimes it was sent PDF, but it wouldn't open as a PDF.
Could it be done the way Shantae used to do the commission? You know, she linked it to the agenda. I was always able to open them that way. I don't know if that might work better.
I'll try anything. That's fine.
Yes, if you go look at the commission, if you look at the commission agenda, send us the agenda. You would send the agenda with all the links embedded in the agenda. You remember how she did it, Linda?
I know how she did it, but it took a lot of time.
Well, whatever makes it easier for you guys, but we've also gotta make it easy for all of us, not all.
Yes.
Intellectually, you know.
Well, and again, if somebody can show me how to open it, I could never open it when they sent me the Dropbox stuff.
I very much am all in on it, but we can't have it that they're gonna struggle. I want this, I very much from a taxpayer perspective, want this to end, but it's gotta be user friendly. Because, and I'm more.
Because we have to be able to go and we have to be able to go through and see the information you're giving us.
I suggest try one with maybe just one or two cases and send that to us, see if we can open.
There you go. Very good idea.
Even nothing but from the old stuff, just one or two.
Very good, like a trial. Okay. How do you think that would work? Like,
Try that.
take a couple of these that you've already done, so we know what we're looking at. That is a trial.
Okay.
One just very, very, very quick question, and this has nothing to do with what happened yesterday. Holiday decorations, is it a 10-day deadline to take them down? 14. Now, does 14 commence from Christmas or from Epiphany at this time of the year? Well,
Epiphany ends Christmas.
So, but they weren't always using Epiphany.
No, they weren't, and we dismissed it. That there was one last year that came before us. It was up.
You're right.
because We don't take our tree down until after the after Epiphany, so it's like,
And it's a lot of people, particularly Hispanics, Italians, and most Catholics. So,
There are people who have blue lights up on trees all year round now.
but I just wanted to clarify that, and are we letting the public know? You know, maybe kind of, because I would venture a guess, you guys, a lot of people don't even know that there is such a law. So that they need to know it's 14 days after the holiday. And see, we were getting them.
Well, I've seen a lot of movements from the previous inspectors. I've seen a lot of violations where people get back.
Yeah, we were getting, you know, that they got violations long before Epiphany. But the reason, I'm sorry, you guys, the reason I asked is a lot of people don't realize Epiphany is a thing.
right.
So that's the reason I asked, if they realize that, yeah, that is kind of a thing.
This is like a witness.
Most people don't even realize there's such a thing as Epiphany. So a lot of code officers, managers, 14 days after Christmas, it's gotta come down. And then you have to kind of remind them, whoops, Epiphany.
So it might just be a good thing for every
Exactly.
holiday, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
just well, what? I think the three kings, the wise men arrived, and they arrived about 12 days after Christ was born.
Right, the Three Kings Day, right?
Yeah, Three Kings Day, and it's usually about, I think it's about 12 days.
Epiphany is January 6th.
Okay.
Okay, motion to adjourn,
Second.
in favor.
Oh, my.
Turn that off. Guys, thank you. Now,